Come here. Yep, hold on. We're all muted. Now we are going to be unmuted now.
All right. Hello.
Hello,
Yo!
Internet.
Hello.
We did it. We made it to another session.
We survived the week, and we returned,
We did it. We made it to another.
and we're all better for it. And I think I have the stream on, and I'm sorry, turning the volume off of it now. All right. I thought it would be fun to bring you guys back to the bestiary because it's been a minute since we've been on this page, and you guys exited a dungeon recently. So you can see some updated characters I add on there. I realize now that I forgot to add the names underneath them. But if you're looking down far off to the right, and then there's the Kuatoa, as you had been facing before. There's the initial smaller guys who just had some spears and were shouting out. The casters, they're getting a little bit bigger until finally there were those giant muscle-bound dudes in the. I mean, they're not giant, right? Like big, just muscly guys. The biggest of the fishmen.
Yes.
That came out of those tombs to the north and the south. And then we also have the suit of armor that had come to life. And as well, is that sword on there? Yeah, it's on there. The flying sword we've encountered now as well. It's fun to look back. Ogres and orcs, giant spiders, and regular big spiders. Owlbears, that hill giant, still the largest creature in existence.
So far.
Really glad I didn't swing at him.
I'm glad that you didn't do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have turned out fine. I'm sure there's a way.
And we would have found it.
Yeah. All right.
Ow.
Well, does anyone want to try to give us a recap of last week's session?
We left the dungeon secret area. We kind of pretended to go off with Droop, and we stayed behind. He wasn't really paying attention. We set up camp. It's now winter. A lot of time has passed. Set up camp. We created a sled out of doors, and I pulled them as a horse for a long time. And then we ran into some adventures. One of them hated me. and I gave him a bunch of alcohol, and now he likes me, or doesn't hate me anymore, at least. And I think that's where we left off, right?
He was distrusting of elves. Yes, this is
Yeah.
true.
I
Yeah,
say
there were
I
a couple
do.
of.
I do remember through reading the books, we did
Yeah,
find out
yeah, that's right.
that it like speaks of the origins of the anti-magic field spell, which is a dude that's actually a belt now.
Yeah.
The Band of the King.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just gonna call him the belt. Belt
yeah,
boy.
the belt boy.
BB. He's an
Okay.
asshole.
Hope you have plenty of nicknames for the next encounter. Hey, BB. Remember me?
I'm gonna use magic, bitch. Yeah, we gotta figure out how to kill that belt.
I mean, we gotta take care of all that.
Right, yeah, you guys kind of found out that it was sentient for the most part. The rest of you, I don't think, knew. Because it was kind of holding you hostage, right?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Prick.
Yes.
It's a jerk. No one likes to be held hostage. Now we know. Yeah, so I think you guys are right. You guys learned a bit about the deities that were involved and their agent that was Arthendal, the Belt Boy, and went for that king. Troop right went off, to Cragmaw. He just kind of shouted and led his newfound troops. And you guys just kind of let him walk off and do his thing.
Yes.
It's understandable too, coming from another dimension. Yeah, at some point you guys found out. I think while you were camping, the time jump.
7 months have
Something had happened.
Or no, we found Hubert also informed us it had been 7 months before he was sent to us for burning gnome hair, which he's now
Burning that
indebted.
gnome hair.
I gotta figure out a way to talk Mom into giving some hair.
You could just take it in her
Exchange the
sleeves.
deal
That's what
around.
I do.
Yeah, you guys took the if I remember, you took the draperies from inside
Yep, so
from the
that way we have,
entryway as like blankets.
yep, in case to resist any elements or anything like that.
Old rotted blankets, which was a good idea because it is cold out. There's that light dusting of snow, and then you came upon some other travelers, and there was some meet and greet with the travelers. You guys remember anything about them?
There's a one-eyed wizard looking dude chilling at the campfire.
And that guy was interested in
Right.
Jerk.
Yes, and that's where we left off completely.
Yeah, he doesn't like demons. One took his eye.
Yeah,
I think
told you
he's the only one we didn't get a
you
name
demon
for
blooded,
too.
Yeah. Remember that? And yeah, and it was
Ariana.
then Taliesin.
There was Salem was the one I was talking to, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm.
Ariana's
Yeah, you got your
the
bunch of-
girl. Then there was
Oriana. Ariana. Yeah, I guess it.
Sturm.
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 He's
Yeah,
the other one.
That was the strong
Sturm.
boy.
And he took a liking to Hubert and his knightly armor immediately. They started sharing tales. I think it's all right. So this is about where we left off. Yeah. So Taliesin trying to like quell Salem's apparent written on his face distaste for elves. Working through a little sharing of some fine brandy from that cask I think he found a while back in like Tresnedar Manor.
Yeah, I've had it for a while.
Salem, he as you guys talking, he starts sharing. He's like tastes it and sees how fine it is, and he pulls out another cask from his end and starts sharing. some alcohol with you as well. As he offers you a glass of something from a barrel, telling you about it as like it's a fine dwarven stock. He's pretty jolly at this point, a little red face. Yeah, we had Sturm, he's a little red face, a little intoxicated. But he appreciated the gesture. It seems to have brought him around a bit.
Yeah.
Sturm Brightblade, kind of starts telling Hubert about his father was a knight, the Knights of Karim. You ever hear of the Knights of Karim? And doesn't wait for a response before he starts to tell you about the Knights of Karim back in his homeland of Tristan.
Have a listening gentleman.
Continues on. Hey, yeah, you guys, that's for the food. Somebody needs to make this food. No one is offering it to you, but they've given it to you.
Oh.
They traded you, but they're not offering to like do the cooking for you.
I mean, I'll do it.
I would say I'll cook. I'm not doing
proficient
anything
in
else.
survival.
That's true. You could probably cook better then.
Do you want
I
me to
second
roll for
Taliesin doing
cooking
it.
or?
Yeah, somebody should. See how well you do this turkey.
That's a 14 plus proficiency, so 16.
What's the opposite of dry turkey?
Like a
Moist turkey.
Moist turkey. It's delicious.
Sweet.
You
Well,
guys
I'm
did a
glad
good
I had that
job with
extra two.
what little you have, but it's shared amongst you. It's a good meal. When you guys have been eating kind of rations for the last few days and powering through down the trail. The wizard, as he's talking, and as like I said, the sun is set and everyone's kind of talking, getting to know each other. He's kind of taken to Jerk and has kind of been looking at him, but he seems to be a man of few words. Like that, where he just kind of, demon took my eye, and as you see it, but he turns to you, Jerk, and he asks, he's like, "So, have you had to kill your parents, or?"
No, the town we lived in did that for me. I was the only surviving member of the Actually, I don't even remember what my last name is. It's been so long. Yeah, no, the town took care of it for me.
Tells you, kind of goes on to tell you, once a demon's touched your life, your family, you're never really the same. I'd like to help you. I see into your future. I see that they're not going to leave you be. And he kind of reaches to the blind eye that's got the scar over it, and he removes a glass eye and he offers it to you.
Okay, I'll
He says,
accept.
He's like, this can replace your eye, and it will let you see their kind, no matter what form they've taken.
Do you
But you do have to sacrifice your eye for this.
do you want my eye in exchange, or what? Why would you just give this to me? It seems like a pretty powerful artifact.
Actually, it tells you that he also has demon blood in him. And as he sits here around the fire,
Dang.
the reason that he kind of informs you the reason that he's sitting here in the winter without needing anything on is because he's been, in a way, or what some would call cursed, to always feel hot and to be warm. Sometimes known as the demon's curse of the hell's tongue. But he doesn't see it as a curse.
I tell him he got kind of lucky there. I've got red skin, pointy teeth, and all right. Well, thank you.
He offers to install it in your eye for you. The only way that it will be useful to you.
Ask him about the warranty.
Now,
Is like
Yes, creepy old man sitting around campfires offered to replace your eye with a glass eye that he just pulled out of his own head. Yes.
okay, I just wanted to be sure. Now
this is like
this seems. Are there any drawbacks to having this eye? Am I gonna have like
Actually,
nightmares
is
or?
like
but he actually says the Earthstaz eye is actually far more powerful than your normal eye can be. Not only can you see demons in their true form if they're trying to remain hidden, but only you can remove the eye and you'll be able to see through it.
Oh,
so
are you gonna be able to see through it since you've removed it?
I can see without this. This is paltry magic.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
point of order. Does it turn off?
No, it's his eye. He basically has to replace
No,
it.
like
So you're basically.
can you blink with it in, or do you have to sleep with one eye open forever?
No, you'd be able to blink.
You would have seen him blink. He's to replace his eye though. But he will
is
take
this
your
Mad
eye.
Eye Moody where
He-
you have
he
to
would-
take the eye out to not
it would-
have something going in that eye?
He would like to take your eye as in exchange for giving you this magical one.
Okay. You do you, baby.
This is very sudden. um,
Upon seeing you nervous, he starts laughing. The first real show of emotion on his face as he's holding the eye out to you. It's just like
It sounds like it could be useful.
yeah. All right, let's do it.
Would you like to roll for bullshit first to make sure it's not a
Yeah,
rock?
you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna roll.
Oriana. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. Let me pull up my character sheet.
Jerk rolls inside at a +1.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, I tried.
Yeah. I guess I'm all in. I just rolled a 2.
I mean, yeah, he seems to be telling you the truth. I mean, you could, if you're like, I don't trust this, but part of you wants to. I mean, you could ask him to prove it.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any way to prove it?
Yeah, he goes.
How many fingers am I holding up behind my back?
He goes, certainly. Yeah, exactly. He hands it to you. He asks you to, show something to the eye hidden from his spot, and he actually turns around the other direction. And if you show an object to the eye,
I show it my super fine dagger.
where'd you get that dagger from? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's a fine dagger. I got it off a body somewhere.
Yeah, you looted it off of
What was-
somebody in
Off a red
Craigslist, if
brand?
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, show it 5 teeth and ask how many rocks you're holding.
Yeah, he tells you that it's an ornate dagger, and he estimates the number of people you've killed with it, and it actually seems to be fairly accurate. As you
Okay.
think about the number. Oh.
I see. That's crazy.
So, like,
All right. Let's switch eyes.
he laughs, and he takes you over to the cart. Yeah.
So, I have to ask,
Disappears
is this
inside
like a
briefly.
friendly, like, haha, let's go, my friend? Or is this kind of like an Palpatine, like,
I'll try and do it again. So when he was holding it up,
Oh, like the old man from Scene
Laughing.
24.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just kind of nondescript. It was really tough for Jerk to get a read on it. That's for sure. Someone else wants to.
I'm
have
gonna
an
do.
idea if they
I want
feel
to do
like
an
it. Go
insight
right ahead.
check.
It's
Did
it feel like
it's a.
feel like an evil laugh.
I mean, that's a 9.
It feels like an old man laughing. He's
Okay.
entertained by something.
Do I
wanna
notice that
roll, but
something weird
even
is
if I
going
roll
on?
two, I'm not gonna do anything with it.
And Oriana, the silver-haired woman, leans out of the carts, and she's like, and she listens to him. She's like, Clorendon, are you scaring them? Are you trying to terrorize these young travelers? And as she calls you young travelers, you do seem to notice that, at the very least, for you younger races that don't live hundreds of years, that they are a bit older. Like she's in her 40s.
Is like, do I
I mean,
notice that
the old man's got a beard down to his knees if he was standing. Actually, now he is. He's over at the cart.
Is this old man just Deckard Cain?
That's kind of what I heard too.
Deckard Cain. That's the laugh.
Meh.
Okay.
But he's just kind of chuckling to himself.
All right. So
He,
we'll
and he starts preparing. He starts preparing some magic healing going to you, and he's like writing with a ink quill around your eye, and he's doing some things.
So I guess I'd just like to ask him. So you said you were touched by a demon. Is one of your
Right.
parents a demon as well? Are you a tiefling like I am?
Oh, nothing so direct as one of my parents, but down in the family blood, we bear a similar curse. Nothing quite so strong as what you seem to be.
I'd like to try and notice what these guys are doing, and if so, walk over and comment.
I mean, if you guys have been eating around the fire, you watch the old man like offer Jerk an eye, and him
Yeah.
accept. And Jerk openly accept. Let's do it, old man.
Do it.
Yeah. So while they're doing it over there,
I encouraged it, so.
yeah, it's all for it.
You know
Oriana
what?
comes out.
Worst comes to worst, we have someone watching over us. So
Attending physician.
yep.
Yeah. Oriana doesn't join you around the fire. She actually goes off a bit of a distance away, and you see her lighting several candles. She's laid out and a mat to kneel on. She's praying up towards the night sky.
Wonder who she's
With
praying
that and a
to.
small incense up to her as well. Jerk, after he finishes scribbling incantations around your eye, he speaks something in what language does he speak?
What languages do I speak?
Yeah,
Common and infernal.
that you do not understand.
Is it a Bistle?
Nope.
Okay.
Is it Goblin? I'm just kidding.
I'm checking it. I'm like checking
It might
everybody.
be draconic.
Is it infernal?
No.
Does Sparkle Gem speak Draconic?
No, I
Yeah,
don't speak
well, then-
draconic, but I thought somebody spoke No, that's right. No one speaks draconic. We figured that out.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, in a language that no one seems to understand, he reaches in, like you feel his fingers. There's no like lidocaine or numbing of it. You just feel them kind of wrap around
Ugh.
your eyeball. He gives you a quick yank. It disconnects you. It hurts.
Oh.
It
Ah!
hurts a lot. You yell,
Constitution check.
and he just
Right for
and he
pain.
just rolls the Urstaz eye into your eye socket. It's just like a quick pop motion, like like a doctor kind of somehow like resetting your spine in one swift jerk, and has popped the eye in. The pain is gone, but you are disoriented.
I say, well, it wasn't the worst thing that happened to me today, but it was still pretty bad.
He kind of he looks at you, and you know his eye looking straight into the glass eye, the Urstaz eye, and you're able to see the golden flecks of his iris staring back at you. And then he deposits your eyeball into a vial, adds it amongst stoppers the vial, and puts it amongst several other glass jars. You kind of hear the clanking. closes the little cabinet, puts a lock on it,
Wait, what?
draws his finger around it. You see that like lines glow, and then he goes back and sits around the fire.
Do I
Ah,
like notice
so it's a good
anything?
day.
Do I notice anything different
Come back
with
and
my
help.
vision?
No, you are able to see out of an eyeball that is in your head, though.
Okay, how does
Okay.
he look?
Everything just looks normal.
Like
to
so?
you.
So
everyone
there's just
else?
this. Yeah, so there's just this rock where his eye was.
It's like a glass eye, but it's like a solid white.
Does it move with his focus? Like an eye?
Yeah, but it just has like the texture of an eye. It's completely white. So from any distance, it just seems to be white completely in the pupil. But up close, you can see that it's the shape of an eye, but just a piece of glass that's encasing the shape of an eyeball, which is now in his head.
Cool. Magic eye.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Nice.
put the eye of Urstaz on your. I think sometimes I just want to see if you'll accept things, Chris.
Like, there was something like that in the back of the 4th edition book that killed you after a few months.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. Like, that wasn't exactly a sanitary eye swab.
It was
It's
magic.
magic.
I ain't gotta explain shit. It's magic.
And it is now in your inventory and attuned to you.
Immediately?
If you want to refresh your page.
I think the ritual he performed may
Oh
have.
yeah. Oh yeah. Wizard, strange old wizard who's able to swap out people's eyeballs in the back of his cart. Yeah. It's instant attuned. He did some serious magic to you. So basically, if you look, this is your eye. It can't be removed by
By-
anyone other than you.
And it says I can see through it as if it were a normal eye. He said I
Right.
could see demons' true forms or something like that too.
Yep. That didn't save. Okay.
Interesting. All right. Well, I think after having an eye removed, I've had about enough, so I'm gonna cozy up by the fire and go to sleep.
That was. So, well, it seems like he's acting normal and that he can see fine, so, time will tell what's going to happen from this.
Yes. Talison's just kind of drunk,
we've
hanging
learned-
out with Salem, and he's just like, "Ha, fancy that."
Oh yeah.
He's
So
like, not really that concerned.
You know what? Hand me one of those. It's been a weird day.
I think I had given Salem the rest of my drink, but he pulled out some. So,
Yeah. Just whatever you would grab and pass at this point.
yeah, I guess I'll pass it off to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was.
oh he kind
a
of
man of the faith. I didn't expect you to drink, but I'm excited.
Salem looks at oh my gosh, Godwald as he accepts the cup from him and he goes, I've got some ale for you. Only a few gold if you're interested.
Let's see if I can keep this down.
And he kind of looks over at Taliesin, gives a little jabs in the room. He's like, hey man, my business can't, sometimes this stuff's hard to find. Sometimes I move these things. Don't give away all my product.
My bad, man. I figured since I, gave you the last of this really nice, brandy, that my companion might be able to have a glass. But can I make
Whatever.
a persuasion check on that?
He's just like, we're cool.
Can I make a persuasion check on that?
On what? What are you trying to persuade?
Saying I figured that since I gave you the last of my really nice brandy, that my friend could have a glass.
Oh,
Like,
just be like,
trying to
So
Yeah, I
are you
gave
persuade him
trying
to
to
like.
see
I gave you
if you
something
could get
for
a
free.
second glass? Like, is that what you're
I
trying
mean,
to do?
that's
I'm
what I
trying
have
to
to
see
say.
if I can get Godwall to glass without him having to pay for it, because I
And
gave
not drinking
him.
all of yours.
Kind of like,
Well,
hey,
we
we're
already
all
drank all.
friends here.
Yeah, he already drank the
Gotcha.
rest of my like really nice brandy that I found, and he gave me
I mean,
some of his.
Gave it to
I
him.
gave it to him, right?
And he gave
And
you
then he
ale in
gave
return.
me ale in
Yeah.
return, and then I'm trying to be like
It's
charismatic and be like, "Come on, man, he's my dude."
My,
it's not going to come up again. I'm only having the one.
Well, I mean, are you buying it? Because he's telling you that you need to buy it, which is why I'm trying to make a persuasion check to be like, "This is my friend. You should just let him have some."
just let him have the one.
Do it. Do it. Roll it.
19. I don't have a
19,
plus.
nice. And he's just like, you know what? For a fine man such as yourself, it sounds like you're all very well experienced adventurers. Yeah, I'll give it to you for just a few silver, just 5 silver, and you can have a mug of ale all your own. It drops it drastically in price from a few gold to just a
I'll
few
hand,
silver.
I'll hand that over.
He willingly accepts and gets a mug out from his gear, which you notice has several on his attached to his backpack, his bedroll over in the pile there, and gets you on. And he goes, anyone else want a drink? As he pours Godwald an ale.
No.
Nope. And this entire time, Sparkle Gem's just been like,
Sturm's like, I'll have one. And you see almost like practiced, he flips a gold coin um, over to Salem, and Salem catches it and then chucks the cask across over the fire. Sturm catches it,
Hmm.
like practice maneuver. I've done many a time.
I want to say to Salem. So we're just adventurers. We're looking for, you know how the life of adventure is. Obviously, you guys seem to experience yourself. We're looking for work. Have you heard any rumors along the road in your travels? Anything weird? Anything weird going on in the area?
Well, let's see. I mean, Sturm would probably pipe up really fast. Sturm Brightblade, pipe up real quick and just be like, "Well, we adventure all over, and we've been heading this way up and down the Sword Coast for some time. We've seen it all." And they starts to just kind of ramble out a bunch of different adventures where they've been running around battling creatures and underneath mountains and like through all the different forests and everything else. Like he's just rambling out all these different stories. Whereas Salem like kind of leans over to you, and he's like, he's like, I don't know, something along the lines of, my boy, I think you're talking about something more recent and more local. If I
Yeah.
get your drift.
Yeah, like something that we could maybe go pick up a job for.
So then he tells you, he's like, well, we're passing here on the way from Tribor, and we're heading by way of the trail then north to Neverwinter. But you're not the first travelers we've encountered on the road in the last few days. We've been taking our time, like, getting an eye of the land. Actually, we're on our way to Mirabar. It's a dwarven city to the north. But anyways, he tells you that things that they've heard on the road on their way here are nothing that seems too out of the ordinary for them. Um, there's the occasional like raid on the trail, but not so much as there has been in the past. There's a lot of adventurers and miners coming to the area with the with word of the Wave Echo Cave, the lost mine of Fandelver being found. all sorts of miners, their bodyguards, and other just general adventurers have been coming to the area. Some to try to find new mines or perhaps other accesses into what they believe to be deeper reaches of the mine somewhere, and others trying to find their own like ore like somewhere in the mountains.
I rouse
Um,
slightly and I say, "Hey, we found that. We found the map to that place. That was us."
oh, it's like that's interesting. From what we've heard, it happened. You know, it was a years ago.
What?
What do you
Ugh.
mean by years ago? What year is it currently?
Just in the last few, from the way they said it. Oh,
Oh God.
oh no, I had this totally written down. Just because I want
Work.
to outside world building timeline.
And
Well,
we
let's see. Deep
would
winter.
have
Deep winter just passed, and she. Let's see. So Oriana, having come back over to the fire, she goes, "Oh, what year is it?" And she goes, "Well, I believe here in your area, you would say deep winter has passed, and you're into the claw of winter. It's the second month of the year. It's essentially February on our calendar, and it's in the year is 1495.
How many years has it?
we were gone for 3 years.
Maybe two and a half.
Right?
3 years. It was
It was
1492. Was it
yeah,
that?
but it was fall, so
So a little over 2 years. Because I mean, I'm assuming Pubert would have been off training for a while. I don't think that he would just show up and
What
get
became
fast.
of Fandolin? What became like what's been going on as far as
point of order.
city
So
politics?
I don't think they would know because
she's
if they're
like,
headed
she's
to
like, she's
Neverwinter,
like,
then we're going the same direction, and they haven't been there yet.
Doesn't mean they haven't caught wind from other travelers.
Fair point.
But Oriana, she gets out a map. She goes, Fandolin. She's like, I don't think that was going to be on our way, but is
It's
that
not.
where you are all heading?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And
not too far off the trail.
so seriously, we were in another dimension for 3 years. It was 6 minutes for us. Have you guys heard of that before? Has that happened to anyone else you've come across in your
And
travels?
they're kind of like taking
As
in
Jerk
now the
blurts that
stuff you're
out.
saying.
I'm just kind of
Wait,
Talus
so
is just sitting there like, okay.
so you get
I
so
continue
you're
drinking.
saying
I
like
start.
who are you telling this to? Who are you talking to?
I'm
I
talking
started
to
drinking
I'm
more.
I'm just talking
Yeah,
to everybody like them. I'm like,
Shouting.
what's going on? We were gone for 3 years.
I'm just
When,
like,
whenever
Talus is
Jerk
just
says
like,
As
something,
he yells
yeah,
that.
whenever Jerk says something, Talus and I exchange a glance, and we start to drink more earnestly.
Meanwhile, I'm elbowing Jerk like right in the back of the knee because that's what's convenient for me.
It's Oriana and Clarendon who are basically like, "What do you mean you've been gone for 3 years? Could you elaborate?" And they ask about what you're talking about as you're very clearly freaking out.
That's fair. There was magic involved, and that's really all we know.
Should I tell them what happened?
we
Hell
went to
no,
fight
you
a
don't tell them what
necromancer.
happened.
Should I tell them the sanitized version?
We went to
Yeah.
fight a necromancer. A portal opened. We went in it. We came back 6 minutes later, and it's been 3 years apparently.
No, it has not been 3 years.
It's been 2 and some change.
You see, Oriana and Clarendon are like kind of making eyes at each other as Salem's trying to sell some, sell some of these just random trinkets to Hubert, things that they've picked up on their adventures, like just it's like a pitcher, for water, but it's like golden and and he's trying to like sell it to him.
Yeah, that follows.
While at the same time, I'm gonna say Sturm's kind of been drinking.
I
from
would
the
like to.
disappointed. But so they look at you and they're like, "So you're saying that you left in 1492 through a portal? You came back through the portal again, and it was 1495. But
Yes.
they're basically Oriana's like that's powerful magic. Like that's interdimensional magic. There's very strong beings at foot here. She's like clearly she's like she starts asking like were there any signs of what like like a deity? Were there any writings or markings? She wants to know.
Absolutely not. I did not see anything of the sort.
Can I roll insight to see if this is like, should I
Or can
trust
I
them?
just roll a deception and lie my fucking face off here?
Well,
And
I want to
okay,
roll an
in what-
insight to
Okay.
see if I would feel that I would trust them with this information.
Sure.
Okay, in what order should we resolve this?
It's 14 plus 5 plus 7.
Oh no,
I'm
the
proficient.
proficiency is part of the full number.
Oh,
Okay,
so
Yeah.
plus
so-
the 5. Okay, all right. So that's
So she's asking
19.
she's asking it's like she's like there she's basically saying like, there were to be incredibly powerful magic at work in order for what you're describing to have happened. Were there any kind of like markings or runes or indicator of like what magic was responsible, the deity, like something? She's
Right.
asking for more information about that, and you're rolling to see like what your gut is. Do you trust if
Yeah, like, do I
she's
trust?
inquiring because
I'm trying to just make sure that like, do I feel like I could give this person this information and it wouldn't be a
Okay,
mistake?
think about it from this perspective. We swore an oath to a king who is serving an evil aligned god.
Well,
Who
we
is
don't have to
about
tell them that.
sacrificing everything.
It's like, no,
Okay, but they just asked us if there was a sign of a deity. You're trying
Here's
to
my
see if you trust them enough to say, yeah, we saw a deity, and it's an evil fucking deity.
here's the trepidation reason. We found one of the books evidence of a god war, which means that anybody else who's serving a deity could have a side for or against the things that we found.
Exactly.
That's a
Right.
reason to hesitate.
Which is why I'm rolling to see if I would feel that I could trust these people with telling them these things.
You did just see her do a like a
Yeah,
she
she
just
just
worshipped.
did.
So, like,
I
can
know.
somebody roll and see if they recognize whatever ritual she performed? Because
I
that
mean,
would give you
yeah.
a clue as to what deity she's.
I was
Okay.
monitoring your surgery.
Talison's gut tells him that this person is being straightforward and honest with you. Just they saw you walking down the Tribord Trail. They offered you,
Yeah.
their fire and sold you some food. Um, they're being pretty straightforward about that. You don't
I've-
like see anything. There's definitely nothing about your gut that says like this is
Like, basically, if I told them that, yeah, we found these books that are talking about this evil deity, they're not going to, like, want to murder us.
your gut says you trust them. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a hard. Like generally, what are you trusting them about? Like she's definitely inquiring
Yeah.
about.
I guess I was just trying to
You
see
could
if I
just
got,
ask
like,
back.
a gut feeling about, like, whether or not what their intentions are, I guess.
So would you
Okay.
narrow? So do you want to narrow your eyes and ask why?
I kind of just want to tell
Gut
them.
feelings pretty decent about
Yeah.
them. They've all been pretty straightforward.
I kind of just want to tell them about the books that we found, and about what was it?
Gramouche specifically.
Gramouche. Yeah, we found books relating to Gramouche within this other dimension. I guess it was.
Mm. She's like, she's like Gramouche, an ancient enemy of life and light. Like it seems, was it one of his temples? He's
We're not.
Some gods have the ability. She basically just tells you, she's like, some gods would have the ability to connect their temples from one plane of existence to another. It's within their power to create that kind of.
It was
kind of
very ornate there.
Very. Hmm?
I said it was very ornate there, and it was very. I mean, it would make sense if that's what it was. We weren't aware of what it was at the time.
She kind of, she goes, well, many gods are. It's also within their power to create these things as well.
I mean, we more or less stumbled upon it, and I, through my travels before I met all of these good people, picked up on Goblin. It's actually pretty useful if you run into them and you're alone. I was able to decipher the books and figure out that they were about this Gramoosh.
Well, shit, basically, what she said, she's like, yeah, she's like, that sounds like a harrowing ordeal that you've survived, and you should count yourselves lucky for having entered one of his temples and exited alive. Must have been harrowing, difficult trials, I imagine you encountered there. Did you have to face any of his creations? He's known for wicked abominations.
There were some fish people.
She laughs. She
some
laughs
fishmen.
at the way you say that. Fish people. Clarendon, especially. No, Clarendon gives it the old man laugh.
Hey, so have you encountered these fish people, Clarendon, is it? How do you kill them? Because they seem pretty hardy.
It's like fish people. It's like, can you describe them more? I mean, just kind of like inquires about them. It's like, did you know anything about them? What they were called?
They make noises like this.
We just tried to get them to not kill us, basically.
It's like a kobold, like this, and he makes a different. Like, but it's off. Like there's something that's distinctly not the same as what you did. He doesn't quite get you.
More guttural, I'd say.
He was like, and
That's
just
pretty
like
close.
he starts getting farther away from it. Like then he's trying to guess what it was. Like, do you know anything about him?
I asked the other guys if they knew anything about him. I actually, when we rolled, we didn't know anything about them because they were kind of like ancient creatures.
Yeah, they're we no, because one of the books did tell us the name of these species because he created the goblins and whatever this thing is.
Well, let's look through the book and find out what they're called. Who can read it?
Do any of you? One of you knows Abyssal, right?
I can read it if you give me time.
I know Abyssal. Probably helps if I unmute my mic.
He knows Abyssal. So I would say Clarendon, the resident demon expert, basically asks if would be asking if there'd be anything written in Undercommon or in Abyssal, or I suppose what language things may have been written in, because he's trying to bring in his area of expertise on demons and demonology. And he starts asking you questions about like types of fiends, if you've ever seen, if they were, and he starts describing a few things. Everybody roll me an intelligence check, so I want to see if you remember anything fiendish without me telling you.
Oh,
Or if I'll just tell you because you can roll really high.
I got a 24.
But so Clarendon's asking specifically if you recall anything fiendish. And he basically just starts describing what you think a lot of demons look like: horned creatures that are like skin.
It definitely was
Things that kind of like with
the only thing would be the
succinct.
Gnostic
He
that
kind of
we've been
looks at Jerk and
covering.
he's like, anything that looked like him.
They summoned a little one.
Did they? I didn't see that. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they summoned a
So
little
They
like
did summon a little fiend that attacked me.
so he kind of like gives Oriana a knowing look. It's like, oh yeah, it's like if they're like the Skirmoosh, like the summoning fiends. It's like, yeah, this definitely sounds sounds like one of the evil deities. It's like, but do you guys know more? And they basically want to find out like if you found anything there that would describe like who it was or what they were. Gramoosh. Let's see. Let's see if Oriana remembers anything
I kind of
about
want to
Gramoosh.
tell them about the belt and the history of that thing and see if they have any idea. Like, especially the wizard, since he seems to be a demon hunter. I want to see if he knows anything about how we could get rid of the belt. Yeah, get rid of the presence in the belt.
Unsoul bind a belt is what you're
Just-
inquiring about.
I would
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know the most about it.
You know, I want to tell him about how I had this belt on and it could cast a spell that we'd never seen before that nullified magic, and then give the history that it told me that if I whatever I can remember.
So as you kind of describe it, like, and the story that you guys have read from the book, all the information, if you're sharing with them, you basically say like, you know, one of the tricks that the gods will play, on mortal creatures is this promise of eternal life. They promise that if they'll bind their soul to some object, it somehow makes them immortal as long as the object exists. And certainly it does make them hardier than your average creature. So many things, so squishy. But anyway, and then he kind of gets back to, it's like, but if you destroy the belt, then you should destroy Arthendal.
Well, I
Grimmush
think destroying the belt is probably a good idea.
I mean, Grimmush probably promised him great and eternal power, and nothing is eternal. His 8 strokes is extremely long beard.
I want to ask the old wizard man, have you heard of a crown? A Goblin King crown? Do you know anything about that?
It's like,
The
I-
Craiglaw crown, essentially.
he's basically like, we don't have goblins from where we're from, but from what you've described with these creatures in their area, like if you say that this magical crown is, I mean, and how much did you guys tell him about this? Did you guys get into like
I'm just asking
how
him
far?
if he's heard of it or knows anything about it.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about Goblin King Crown. Like I said, they don't have goblins
Okay.
from where they're from.
So I will tell him, from what we've heard, it will change a goblin after a certain amount of time. It will change a goblin into a bugbear, but it's not like a normal bugbear. They're much more powerful, and they are deemed king of all other goblins. Do you know like what kind of magic that would be or where that would come from? Is this also something that would come from a deity?
Kind of laughs, slaps his knees. Ha! Did it make it? Did it make the creature 4 times its original size? Oh my gosh! And he starts talking about a time back where, back amongst their adventures, that something had reused it, like some creature had slipped a hat of enlargement onto itself, and it grew to be of the size of a building. It's like, was it like that?
It kind of would.
No.
It's supposed to
Yeah, no, what-
transform like into a completely different creature almost. Like they're related creatures, but
Is it like the polymorph spell, where it turns one creature into another creature? Truly.
Yes, it's exactly
it's
polymorph
similar
spell.
to that, but like instead of a instead of only doing it for a short period of time, it does it permanently. and it's very specific to goblins.
Well, it sounds just like, I mean, although magic and perhaps a strong magic, probably not the most powerful magic that
I would say, to
would
give
be
you some more
necessary.
information,
Should there be wizards who could create such spells?
it did seem to increase intelligence quite a bit. I don't know if that
Seems like a
hints towards anything.
strong. Well, it seems like a strong, strong, powerful artifact. An interesting thing to perhaps add to my collection one day.
I just wanted to see if you guys had any insight on maybe
Links in
if,
his empty socket in the direction.
wanted to see if maybe it was another sort of god weapon thing, or if you guys had ever heard of it. Doesn't sound like you have.
No, he's not heard of it. They hadn't heard of
Gramoosh.
Belt and Dream of Arthendal, but Gramoosh is a deity who has existed for the eons. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
since time long past, and they're familiar with that. Specifically, Oriana. She has a skill set.
I'm gonna reiterate to my comrades. 3 years. We need to get back to town. We gotta go see Mom.
Maybe we should probably
You live
rest
here too?
here. It's dark now. I think because we've been talking and it's been like nighttime, right?
Yeah.
So I think Talison's gonna say his goodnights and just kind of slump down near the fire and fall asleep.
Mm.
I hope the town's still there.
So what kind of transportation do they have?
They have a
Yeah,
cart.
cart, horse-drawn cart. Silver horse literally. It's quite a nice cart, actually. It's quite spacious and let's see. Clarendon sleeps outside without any kind of blanket or anything. It's like snow just falls off him and steams away.
That's a sad curse.
Stern Brightblade sleeps out on a bedroll outside. Oriana sleeps inside the cart. And Salem gets out. He gets out a book, and he actually starts writing in it. While you guys are going to bed.
In the morning, I think we should try to see if we can pay them a little bit to give us, an escort back to town. I'd be willing to throw in some gold for it.
I could throw in some gold for that as well,
I have
but
no money, but I have things I could trade them.
Look,
Yeah.
I'll cover you, man. You paid for most of my beer.
I guess that's true.
It's pretty fun. All right. Well, yeah. If you guys make camp, go sleep with them. I mean, they ask if you, want to take one of the watches or stay up with them, and to kind of gesture towards.
I mean, I'll get up. I'm gonna get up
Clarendon
early.
is like lightest sleeper I've ever seen, and because he is just kind of laying there on his back with his arms crossed over him. It's
Yeah,
the weirdest. It's a very strange way to sleep.
I whispered to Taliesin, he sleeps like a Dracula.
Yeah, some people do, man. It's kind of weird.
And
But he seems
just
nice.
Wait, let me see. Does he hear you?
yeah. Only people with that.
Oh, yeah.
pets.
He's like, pray you never run into a Dracula boy.
Well, thanks to your eye, I'd know what he was. All right, yeah, I'll volunteer for a shift.
yeah,
I knew a
I'll
guy who slept
volunteer
like
for a
that.
shift as well.
It's just
Doesn't do it anymore though.
I only sleep 6 hours, so I'll get up in the morning. When you guys wake up, I'm gonna already have some of that turkey that I'm cooking up.
Nice.
Leftover turkey.
Does anybody's starting pack come with a pot of some kind we could braise this in?
I want to see if I can. Oh, that's 15. So
Yeah, I mean, can anyone cook? Does anyone have a spice in a bag?
I
Like
have an
pepper?
herbalism kit, so maybe I have some herbs that are good with cooking for cooking.
Are you proficient with the kit?
Yeah, it's one of my tools. I also have dragon chess set. Anybody ever wants to play it?
I have a hammer so you could tenderize the turkey.
Okay. Let's see what
Is
else.
that
Oh,
is that how that works?
yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna have to like re-look over all your guys like trinkets and like random.
I know I
Equipment.
don't have a cooking anything for cooking, so
Hmm.
I'm
Alright.
trying to see.
Let's see. If I was going to,
I just have a mess kit.
I mean, herbalism kit says it's got mortar and pestle and stuff. If I was going to season a chicken with that, I'd just like grind up a sprig of rosemary and sprinkle it on top.
Yeah, dude. You know.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much herbs you can find under snow, but
I'm an elf druid. All right.
point taken.
Let me see if I'll do another survival check.
For
That's
what? For what
a
are you trying to find?
24 to see if I can find herbs to cook this with, and I got a 24.
It's like
you gotta think there's also some.
it's like
herbs you
20
got-
days into February. It's not really spring, like winter is dead, but I mean maybe some like moss under a rock somewhere, and like it's a good roll, but I mean maybe it's some good moss. So
Like
Yeah.
like that's why I said rosemary, because I think it's evergreen, so you could find some at any time. Maybe
Yeah, I
some-
would say there
Yeah.
are some herbs you could like in the D and
There
D
you go.
realm as well. You could only find exclusively during winter, and that's part of their value.
well, this time around it's some tasty moss. And it tastes like whatever spice you want to think up there, Taliesin.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be like lemon mint and rosemary.
All right.
Yeah.
It's an amazing moss under the right rock at the right time. I'm proud of you.
Freaking elves.
So survival skills, man. Like
They're
the
dope.
rest of you are gonna like die out in the woods.
I
But
mean,
yeah, so the night passes without warning. So Taliesin seems like he's gotten some herbs out in order to make breakfast a bit tastier.
Hi, I see you.
They get up. The rest of them are waking up in the morning. They're putting their camp away, putting everything up on the cart, and just kind of as they're about ready to go, Oriana starts to be like, "Well, travelers, it was a pleasant, thing." And before she can finish the sentence, Salem cuts in really fast. He goes, "We want to offer you a ride to this town that you want to go to, but it's gonna cost you."
How
Before
much
she
would
gets
it
to
cost?
finish.
I'll open with 3 gold per person per day
And Salem's
What?
just like,
with food.
Salem's just like,
Okay.
well, there's not only our time that we're spending taking you out, we've got to feed the horses. How many days travel is it to this Fandolin? What if something happens along the way? You're gonna need
How's the
protection.
sound?
How
How's
far
10
is it?
gold?
10
Yeah,
gold.
10 gold.
10
All
gold
together?
each for the whole trip with
Altogether.
meals.
Yeah,
No.
10.
All
Well,
together.
no, 10 gold for the ride.
Will you throw in meals if I help pull the cart?
You what?
And make it go
He-
quicker.
You're gonna have to demonstrate that.
He looks
Yeah, I
over.
know.
he looks over at Sturm and he goes, "Throwing meals if you help catch it.
If I help catch what?
Food,
The
like
game.
wild turkey."
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
to go hunt.
Yeah, okay,
like-
okay, I can go hunt. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
He extends his hand to shake it, to shake whoever's standing closest to him. Who's this?
What? Do you have a map up?
I say, don't look
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
swing
gonna
the map
agree
up.
to first offer. We all
we're
know
going
I've
into- now that
tried
we're
to
going
come
into
down
travel
before
mode.
you.
Hang on.
Yeah, let's get your eyes on the map. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'd forgotten about this.
Okay, okay.
So if we're at that X, then at the pace that we had when we were going to the well 2 years ago, how many days out are we? What, 2 or 3 days? And are they offering to take us all the way there or kick us off when our paths diverge?
They
I
said
think they were
they're
gonna-
willing to take us all the way there, but we could probably get a cheaper cost if we go at the jump down on the intersection and walk into town ourselves. And that's only like a 2-day travel, if I'm not no, it was less than a day.
We also don't know what's been going on. There's probably, I mean,
I would
if-
say that
if-
we should just 10 gold is not that big of a deal.
No,
I'm
not at
also
all.
gonna get us I'm gonna get us free food because I'm gonna go hunt with them.
I think we take the deal, and also that means that they're with us when we get there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
We need
can
9 dudes.
I can help with the hunting too, since I've got a huge stealth modifier.
That's how that works. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, Taliesin, were you willing to step forward and agree to the deal, and I'm willing to pay for you?
Oh, I'll shake. Yeah.
And he shakes hands. Taliesin. It's like 10 gold. Fine deal for some fine gentleman and lady, right?
Sure, we could go with that.
He's a dwarf jerk.
I gotta go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Alright. I pay for
Do-
me and for him.
Do all short races get along? Is that what you're thinking?
Who?
Those dwarfs just untrustworthy is what it really boils down to.
Yeah, and gnomes and
Not
dwarves have a
untrustworthy.
hit.
He's untrusting. I said that incorrectly. He's untrusting.
And even
He's trust-
then,
Mm.
gnomes
They're all
dwarves
trustworthy.
don't always get
Thousands.
along.
If Talison's gut tells you that somebody's okay, you're fairly okay with this
What's that old-
gut.
What's that old saying? Stone only shifts when it has to.
Something like
Wow.
that.
We'll say yes.
If that's not an old saying, it's a Fandland saying now,
All right.
because it's a thing miners would say.
Here on this small swath of the Sword Coast.
Well, cool. We got a ride. How much do you want me to contribute?
I
'Cause-
figured it was 2 gold apiece, and
Yeah,
then
pony up
Godwell
the gold.
said he would
After
pay
shaking
for.
hands, he then
Alright.
turns it open.
Then
and
I
smiles.
I hand him 2 of my gold.
He's like, "This is a little light." And so he looks around.
Anybody else
I thought he meant 10 each
No, it's I think
for a
10.
multi-day trip.
No, it was
10
10
for
total,
everybody.
So it's 2 apiece, and then you're paying for Taliesin, so you would
Yeah.
pay up 4.
All right.
What does Pew Bear do?
Bear bows out. No, I'm sorry. Something has just come up. I need to bow out.
I'll
Aw.
cover you.
I'm hoping to be back soonish. It doesn't seem like what's happening is a big issue, but
Okay.
who knows?
Sure, it happens.
So,
Will
anything you need
be-
from me before I go, and I'm hoping to be back. So, I missed. I was away from the computer.
Oh,
think so.
they're gonna come with us for 2 gold apiece.
We're renting a cart.
We're renting a cart.
Uh,
Cool.
Yeah.
You're renting a ride.
We're hiring a cart.
It's an Uber.
Pretty much.
Leave them a. But yeah, no, I will have no problem
Parting.
paying that rate.
All right. Cool.
And we'll hopefully see you guys here in maybe an hour.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Well, that stinks. But
Yeah.
that stinks for all around, right? Like, sure,
Yeah.
he would rather not have to go attend to whatever it is he has to attend to.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's all right.
Morning of the first day.
Dawn of the first day.
I love that you just took the eyeball. You're like, yes, there's nothing that can go wrong here.
Well, there's
Allison,
lots
you're
that could go wrong, but you know
the,
what?
Allison, you're the one with a really nice map of the area, so we can tell them how to get there, right?
This is why I don't go to
Me?
casinos, Jared.
Yeah. Didn't you buy the nice map?
I believe you have 2 maps of this same quality.
I have a map that we haven't really used yet, too. Or did we?
That's what I'm saying.
I was saying, I know
2 maps.
one
I
of
guess.
these maps I got for the party from
The
that
shapeshifter?
chick. No.
No,
the
I
chick
have the
that you're-
shapeshifters.
You have both, I think. I think I put both of them in your pocket using the magic hand.
Oh, yeah. Did we ever go check out where that was marked?
No, because we just got disappeared for 3 years.
Yeah, that's the Thunder Tree Circle, I think. Which
Yes.
we were going to go there after we did these things, but
No.
then
The Thunder Tree Circle is that cultist, that dragon cultist, was trying to get that boat that we took so that he could, and he was going to ride it down this river to Thunder Tree. I'm pretty sure.
No, Thunder Tree was exactly where the circle, because we put that circle on before we got the Thunder Tree icon.
I would claim
Ta-
that both are true.
Talison's got good insight there. That is what the boat was for.
I would claim both of those are true.
Okay, so
Exciting place.
we can navigate. Let's go.
Oh, right, because he's not coming back. Okay.
Yeah,
You know.
All right.
I'll take
well,
charge of him.
Right. So you guys, I guess you're all throwing 2 gold in a piece. Is that it?
Yep.
Except for
I'm-
Taliesin, because Oz is paying
Alright.
for Taliesin.
And I put in 4 to cover him and
Martin.
me because he paid for my ale, kind of.
Marking 2 off of.
I'm also catching the food.
Yeah, that's
And-
why the food's thrown in.
And we're
Yeah.
gonna help.
Ugh.
All right. Yep. So I marked some of that off. All right. So you guys, they kind of look up in the cart. This cart is much bigger than your guys' cart by a significant portion. They have 4 horses pulling it. Inside, there's plenty of space for them all to have at least been like laying on either across different benches, things that are in there. But then there's storage as well as like cabinets along with some things, and then some places where you can see there are like pole arms across the top of a cabinet up against like strapped down things like
Sick.
that. So it's fairly decked out. Like there's a rug in the middle of it that you guys can kind of be sitting around while you travel. So yeah. Anyways,
Traveling
night goods. Your travel is. Yeah, damn it! He had to leave now. All right. Well, your travel is fairly not a script. You guys go on for the rest of that day until it starts getting a little bit darker. Along the way, you guys hunt for game. I want to see between Callison, Salem, and Sturm, who finds the most game on the way back. So roll me a d20 and see if you can beat a 7 or a 14.
Does it count as survival?
That's a 9. Yeah, it
Yeah,
would be survival.
check. Survival check.
So I beat it. I beat the 7. I got a 9.
Yeah, Salem comes out on top, and he with just like one or two more like birds of small mammals and food for everyone. And it's kind of chuckles. He's like, "But you looked like a wood elf." It's like, "Are you a half wood elf?"
I'm only
Hmm.
half.
Trying to make a joke on the fact that you're half wood elf,
Yeah.
and that he found more,
Hmm.
was able to capture more.
If this happens again, I'll spend a spell slot and give you advantage on that survival.
That's okay. I think that in the relationship that I am building with this Gimli-like character, that is a
Like-
good step in the right direction.
Oh, band of brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's more than enough food for the next day or so's travel too. So you guys eat well. Don't have to pay for any more of the food. Talison's done a fine job collecting some of the herbs in the area. Let's roll with that as well until you guys come back to Phandalin. Oh my gosh, Phandalin's far away. Nope. There we go.
So it's been 2 weeks for us and 2 years for them.
Yeah, I think the math would work out that it'd be like
I think it
2
was
years. It was
like-
summer, and so it was more like what would be their
2.5.
August? Yeah,
But
so it'd be like what was their August roughly until now their February. So yeah, 2.5 years.
What do we do first?
Well, I would assume the town. Does it look exactly the same, or
Is it
has
on- is it currently on fire? Or has
has
it
it
recently been on fire?
burned? Are there more people? Like, it's been years.
So what you guys see now is from the north as you're approaching what was the orchard here. The trees have been cleared out and of this area, and there are a bunch of like tents or teepee like
Hmm.
Oh no! What happened to the
constructs that are there.
buffaloes?
Oh no, what happened to Darren? We never got to help him.
I gave him buffaloes to look after.
Yeah, but there was something else.
Oh man, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, so you see the orchard has been the trees for the orchard have been cleared out, and basically the wood has been used to build other semi-permanent kind of structures.
Hmm.
The rest of the town seems to be but a lot of general kinds of repairs have been done to things. So like where a house hasn't been painted in 10 years, like more of them have been more recently, where some of these structures were like rundown pieces like here. Why is it drawing? There it is, drawing the circle there. That was like that piece of rubble before the tower has been kind of like built back up into a watchtower. Other items like this end of
This
town
one,
as well as you approach, and some general repairs made to the manor as well.
I was about to ask, does the manor look like it's been being worked on?
Or lived in.
So
But
they were repairing the old broken down buildings.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
so
what happens.
basically a lot
Sounds
of
like what
things
happens when a
and
place becomes touristy.
yeah,
Touristy.
but
There's a word.
as the cart starts approaching, from the north, and it's Sturm at the helm of the cart. He kind of looks back and he's like, "Is there any way we should be going in particular? Anyone you guys want to see if still lives here in town?
I'm gonna look back at Godwald and be like, shouldn't we go see if your mother's okay?
Yeps.
While you do that, I'm going to go to the town master's hall and see if Sildar is still in town or what's become of everything over the past few years.
I'd say it is about, we'll say noon, so like midday, like the light dusting of snow that keeps coming up each day is kind of melting. Everything's kind of damp, wet, and cold. But otherwise, just cloudy kind of day as you're approaching. Here's some votes. Some people want to go home.
I'd
The
like to
old
go.
Piter Bottom home.
I'd like to go to the Piter Bottom home and see. Well, first, their mom, and then second, I'd like to go talk to Sister Gariel.
Okay. So, a couple people go in the Piter Bottom home. Somebody's going to the town master's hall.
Yep.
One more. Towson, where you headed?
I'll go with Sparkle Gem to see Sildar.
Okay. All right. So I guess first we'll just go north to south. So we'll start at the old Piter Bottom home, and the let's see,
So the first thing we'd see
they
is the shrine.
the the party that gave you a ride here recognizes all of the places for carts and people to check kind of and care for their horses and their cart here at Barthen's. So they say like, all right, we're gonna park these, bring the horses in to be fed and cared for. We'll see you guys later. We'll find the inn on our own, and they go off to there. But as you go home to the Piter Bottom home with Godwald, Bear, and Jerk, you can just kind of go in the door. No, don't knock. What do you say?
Hmm.
Yeah, I gotta go do something real quick too.
I
While you guys are doing this.
Pubert would definitely be the first person to yell, but I don't know how to run that.
Hubert.
Okay. Jerk, did you just say you had to something as well? Because the 9 o'clock break.
no, but I can go check on the kid and make sure she's not doing something dumb.
I was just asking if we were just gonna take the 9 o'clock break now.
Yeah, we can do that.
I mean, because we could run this while they're gone, and then you guys could do it when they're back.
That sounds good too.
Okay.
I like that idea better, actually.
Suits me.
All right. All right. I'm gonna run with Hubert. It's just like, Mama, we're home. Like comes in, and you hear, from somewhere in the house, you hear, "Oh, my boy!" And Mama Firebottom comes running out to the sound of her son's voice, and tears, excited, and grabs you both in big hug, big old mom hug squeeze, and she's tears of joy, a big smile on her face. She's like, "Oh, you're safe. You're safe. I'm so excited to see you safe, and you're here with me. Oh, my boys, my boys." She's generally overwhelmed and overjoyed.
I say hi. Your armor helped me immensely. Thank you.
Oh, it's the jerk. Hi, jerk. Oh, I'm glad you're safe too.
I wanted to come say hi with the
You're
boys.
one of my boys. Come on, you protected my boys, didn't you? Get in here. And she wants to get you in this hug.
Oh, I give her a hug. Say, I just wanted to be here when your boys came back, and I want to make sure they saw you before they take off again, because you know how they are.
Well, you all are feeling pretty amazing and rolling in this joy with Mama Piter Bottom. So excited to see that you're here. And she's like, "Never leave. You can't ever leave again. Never, never leave again." She's just so, it's just like I said, overwhelmed. Just like, oh, we have to celebrate, and just starts like, we have to celebrate. We're gonna have, she's like, we're gonna have everything, and she's like, "Where's you gonna have everything?" And she's like, "Sister Gariel, like my boys
Ah.
are home," and she just like runs off, like out back to get Sister Gariel from the garden out back.
Okay, well, actually, follow her because I wanted to talk to Sister Gariel anyways.
All right. You follow her outside, and then Mama Bottom comes back in, and she's just like, "Boys, I want to know, like, what happened? Are you like, how do you find you? I'm so glad. I'm so glad that Hubert, like, got to you, and he was able to find you safely. But you guys were gone for so long. You were gone for so long before we went looking for you, and you were gone for so long afterwards. It's been so long." She's freaking out. I mean,
we
she knows the same thing. She's like that. It's been years. It's been years since she's seen you.
we're sorry. It's been so long. We
So,
didn't know this would happen. There was strange magic involved.
I don't like it. I don't like all this strange magic. It's so scary. Like it was one thing when you boys ran all those ruffians out of town, but strange magic and disappearing for years. I don't know if I can take it. She's very upset. She's not like the adventuring lifestyle.
Hmm.
I thought you were gone. I had heard from you. I was so worried. Oh, but I guess. Wait. Oh, let's see. How freaked out does Mama Pyro Adam get on a scale of 1 to 10? Or is she overjoyed? I rolled. What's is 10 a freak out? 10 freaking out, or is 1?
Honestly, 10 would be at that when it becomes too much for her. She's gonna faint on the floor.
Okay. She actually like after the initial like freaking out, she's actually like just she kind of relaxes and she's like, I knew it. I knew my boys were gonna be safe. I knew neither of you would ever let anything happen to the other one. I never should have let Godwald. I should have never let Pubert go off to Waterdeep. I'm just so proud of him and his such a big accomplishment and like, oh, but you boys just need to protect each other, okay? Just
I promise.
so she takes it pretty well. She took it a 3. It's not a big freak out. And after the initial part, so yeah, and then she's at it, and she's like, you boys probably need to get cleaned up." She's like, go to the bathroom, like you like clean yourself up. You need to be clean for dinner. You guys stink.
Yeah.
Hi heck, it's been weeks I think since you've bathed. Week.
I'd say a week of travel from here to there, a week of travel from there to here.
Yeah, yeah.
Some
So it's
snow,
been
but still, now that we're not in snow.
2 weeks. 2 weeks of no showering, no bathing. Whew, gotta remember that for when they go to the town master's hall. But yeah, so you guys are able to, get, cleaned up. Um, like take time, like put your things in. Jerk, you wanted to talk to the priestess more, Sister Gariel.
Yeah. Um.
She's like, and she's like, you can tell that she's kind of stunned. She's like, once you all didn't come back, I didn't know if luck was on your side, but I'm glad to see that you're here and that you're safe.
Well, that's exactly what I want to speak to you about, sister. Um. I recently learned on our last little adventure. Um. I learned a little bit more about the gods and goddesses of the land. And I was wondering if there's any possible way I could directly commune with Timora.
I mean, it would be a bit of surprise. I mean, she'd be like, well, it's like, well, a deity's followers don't typically. Let's say, have you told her the story? Are we just jumping in here? What
Well,
are
I'm
we?
gonna tell her about the story of well, first of all, I'm gonna preface
Okay.
preface it with I'd like her to keep it between us because I don't want her I don't want Mama Bottom to get worried
Okay.
about what we might have accidentally gotten into. But then I want to explain the War of the Gods and how the evil luck goddess got involved and involved humans in it, and I kind of want to commune with Timora and see if there's any help she could give us, or even any kind of like information she could give us on how to take down or help, when the time comes, help her take down the
And
or
she's like,
the other ones.
the evil. She's like the evil luck goddess.
Yes,
She's like the dark side of the coin.
I have her
She's
name
like
right
known
here.
as
Hold on. Arushni.
she's like she basically she's like Arushni. Arushni is an ancient name for her,
Well, there.
but she's now known as Lolth. It's like goddess of evil luck, the queen of spiders.
Lolf.
Arushni, Lolth, different names. The gods go by many names. It's like, and you tell the story of this ancient tomb. Lolth, it's just like, yeah, Arushni, but you could call her Arushni. Like I said, an ancient name, but she's now, or she's more commonly known as the queen of the spiders.
Hmm.
Well, because of what we saw down there and what we've learned, I feel like there may be another War of the Gods brewing, and I'd like to see if we can help the good guys this time.
Well, she basically says, you know, one deity's followers don't typically commune directly with the deity, but she's like, there are many like priesthoods and temples where they do rumor to speak directly to the gods themselves. She's like, it is possible. Um, but
Sounds
you'd have to find like, I don't know how to describe this without sounding stupid. Like the highest ranking cleric of that god's temple. If you wish to speak to my Timora, now I need to assign the place on the map where that would happen.
is it just? I mean, it sounds like our best. That sounds like your best bet, Jerk, is to hitch a ride with that cart all the way to Neverwinter. There's tons of temples there.
They do worship.
Somebody would know something.
They worship many of the earth and the creation gods in Neverwinter. No, I have this. I have the stupid map somewhere. I just need to find the stupid map.
You have a map of all the sects.
I have a map of all of the cities that you guys could ever possibly reach through magical or like
Mundane.
or or creature travel. For you to like get anywhere off of this map would be, I don't know how many years. It's huge.
Dun dun dun. Caught you off guard.
I don't know. I'll tell you where this.
So are we by the well?
There's all right. Well, all right. Well, I wanted to pick the place, but then say basically she was like, but you may be able to find a priest who can help you, like find your way there. in Waterdeep. And they'd have to get you to the Omen's Isle.
Okay, I heard Isle, and we're currently landlocked, so that sounds really far.
He said
The o-
Omen's Isle.
The Omen's Isle.
All right. Well, are we near the Luck Shrine? Is that in the garden?
Yeah.
All right. So I
It's
go up.
it's out front where the out front. There's that
All right.
line to marking it on the map.
I'm gonna while we're there, I'm gonna drop 6 Electrum in the well.
You haven't even used the first luck coin.
I know. I'm just dropping 6 Electrum in the well to show my support to the luck goddess Timora. And that's what I do. And then I go back and
As you drop 6 Electrum in one Electrum bounces back out.
okay.
Nothing seems special about it, but it seems insane that just happened. As you're just like, all right, like, and you consider yourself lucky that you didn't just throw more money into
All right.
the shrine.
So that's what I do. And then I guess I just kind of go find the boys and hang out with them.
Is every? I gotta learn where everything is now.
Yeah. So I guess it's gonna. I just
I've
like,
gotta,
yeah. I'm like, all right, like
I've gotta take a
we
quick
got.
break if we can do the other scene.
Yeah, yeah. We'll do the next scene when they're back. To the town master's hall. Oh, they're back. I didn't have
Yes.
the cameras up.
Can you hear me?
Can now?
Okay. I was on push to talk because Tom was playing with the squeak toy.
That's very kind of you. I can't hear CJ though.
Nope.
I think she's muted.
So how bad
Or-
did that
Okay, can we hear me now?
how bad did that
Yes.
throw you off, Jared? Because you seem out of sorts.
No, I had like thought of this, but I never like settled on the spot. And I was like, I wanted to make it so that way there's somewhere for this to travel, and I never like settled on between the two. And then I just stared at them once I did finally get the map out, and I was like, okay, gotta decide between these two places now. So yeah, thank you, Christopher.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate it. But now you know. It's the Omen's Isle.
All right. So I'm gonna go take care of my stuff now and give you guys the floor.
Oh yeah. So, did we get CJ in?
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
not
Oh, okay.
hear me?
Now I can.
No, we can.
Okay. I had to drop and rejoin the call.
All right. Yeah. So as you guys would be approaching it, going to the town master's hall, you would find. Let's see, I think the front door needed repaired or not or whatever, but you guys are able to enter in through the front door. There is a younger man working as a clerk at the desk. Haven't met him before, and he seems kind of like, oh, hello, like, how can we help you today?
Young man. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I
I'm
said
just
young.
gonna
Sorry.
kind of look at him and like look around at the surroundings, be like, the last time we were here, Sildar was acting as town leader. Is that still the case?
Oh, okay, fine. It's not a young man. It's a young woman. Oh, she's like, Sildar, you mean the town constable? You could find the Lord's Alliance, you know, members up at the Tresnadar Manor. But if you need to see, not Elmar. God damn it! What's the mayor's name? The mayor's here.
Started with the H.
He was on that other. He was on one of the
Pages.
map.
Harbin, Harbin
Yeah, there we
Wester,
go.
the town master of Fandolin. But if you're here to see, Mayor Wester. Just like I could see if he's available at the moment.
Who?
The mayor,
The one
Harbin
who
Wester.
begged us not to get involved with the Red Brands.
I'm not familiar with this guy. And Talison's just gonna start walking.
Yeah,
Let's go find Sildar.
yeah, let's go to the town hall or to the tavern. Or the manor. I feel like
Talison's being an asshole on purpose.
The young woman just kind of like watches you as you go out the door. Yep. All right then. I guess have a nice day.
yeah, we want nothing to do with that guy.
Okay.
He
So
was
you
an
guys
asshole.
Do you guys want to go up to the Tresendar Manor?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll walk
Okay.
up there.
All right. Yeah. You guys, as you're walking along this path, though, you do notice that there are a lot of people. You see a bunch of people coming out of uh, the bar that's around here. There are a couple of them out on the patios. People exiting and going. More foot traffic than you've probably ever really seen. And as you guys kind of go up the hill, you notice that even the stone walls have been getting repaired.
I want to make a perception check, which that is a 18, to see if I see the little boy that helped us find the secret tunnel.
Oh, if you see that kid?
Yeah.
Oh, what is his name? All right, here, let's go over. I got their sheet with all of their names and faces in one thing, and I think that's just going to be just the best way to do this.
Was
There
it
they are.
Carp
Carp.
Alderleaf.
Carp Alderleaf. He is the younger son of Galen Alderleaf. Do you see Carp around somewhere?
I don't know. I rolled an
Just doing it.
18.
Say is like on the day. Sure. Oh shit. Yeah. All right. He is running around in the street, not doing his chores. As he's
Carp.
running in, you recognize him.
Carp, my boy. How long has it been?
It's just like kind of shouts, looks attention, like looks back at you, and he's like, because oh man, he like went with you under the manor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in up to it, right?
He took us to the secret tunnel
Took
that
you
went
there.
under
He's
there.
just like, oh, Taliesin and like Sparkle Gem. What do you go by, Sparkle Gem? Which name do you give the people? of Fandolin?
Here's the thing about gnome culture is they don't really give names; they just adopt names given to them as nicknames.
So then, what do people when they're like?
I
I mean,
assume they call me
this kid would probably
Sparks
just-
just for
I mean-
short.
Sparks, Taliesin, Sparks. It's like I can't believe it's you. Were you guys out on an incredible adventure? And like Oh yeah, he's like 2 years older. He was like what, like we said, like 11, so he's 13 now.
Yeah.
Like his voice is a little crackling.
Is that the kid we
You guys
saved?
feel like an
Yeah.
incredible adventure, man.
We did not mean to be as gone as long as we were though. What's been going on in this town? There's a lot more people than the last we were here.
Oh yeah, man. Like adventurers come through here all the time now. I never thought I'd see you guys again after you were gone for so long, but yeah, they're like, like just come passing in and out of town left and right, like going off into the mountains, like trying to look for treasure, coming back with no treasure, or sometimes coming back with treasure. That's when it's really cool.
That
It's
sounds
just-
awesome. I we're going to go see Sildar. I heard he was up in this manor. Is that true?
Yeah, like him and all those Lords Alliance guys, like, well, I mean, I'm surprised you don't see any of him right now. And actually, oh yeah, and you see him kind of like point, and there is just a member of the Lords Alliance walking, and he's got like a breastplate on, you know, like kind of
Okay.
like little not full helmet, but like metal hat kind of thing, and Spirit is kind of walking along. He's like, yeah, it's like yeah, they're all over the place all the time now, man. It's like I guess they keep the town safe, but it's weird.
Yeah.
He doesn't like it.
I
Like the cops.
Yeah, I'm gonna wink and be like, I get it. It is weird, man. I'm not, but hey, some of them are good people in their own right. He's going to
He
tell
just
him.
like jumping. He's like, but dude, did you guys go on like some adventures? Like, what have you been doing? What? Do you like fight monsters?
We fought a ton of monsters, and orcs, and an ogre. It was tons
Orcs.
of things.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's cool. Wait. What does that even look like?
It's like a really big. All right, so imagine like, do you know what an orc looks like?
Is
Or
it
okay,
like a big
you-
goblin?
so
Have you seen
imagine
a potato?
so imagine Harbin, but like really tall and really a lot more fat.
Just as ugly though.
Just as
Uh,
ugly though.
It's like if I was going to describe an ogre, I would say, have you ever seen a potato?
No, Cart finds it fucking hilarious. He broke him. He's
Um,
laughing. He's on the ground. He just thinks it's like,
But hey, buddy,
fat old Harvard Master.
we gotta
Is this
head up
kid with
to
anyone?
we
He's
gotta
always telling me what to do, man. I hate that
yeah.
guy.
Hey man, live your
I
own
just
life.
want to be. I just want to be an adventurer, man. My mom doesn't want to let me do anything. She wants me to work at the farm. It's stupid. I wanna
Well,
go on adventures like you, man.
you can
Dude,
you
could
will
I go on an
Can't blame
adventure
a
with you
mother for
guys?
one.
With us?
Can I come on an adventure with you right now?
No, I
We're-
don't
What
need
are
the
you guys doing?
handicap.
Are you guys like gonna fight a dragon or something?
not
No.
just yet.
Uh,
I'll listen,
dude,
kid.
can I-
I'll
Come on, man.
let
When
you
you
come
come
on
of
an
age.
adventure. I'll let you come on an adventure with us, but first you need to
Yes,
practice
yes,
some.
yes.
First, you need to practice swordplay, and you need to learn some basic rules. So I need you.
Anything. I'll do anything. You just
I
tell me
need.
what to do. I want to. Wait. I
It's
get
gonna
to use
take
a
a
sword.
It's gonna take a long time, kid. So here's my promise to you, and I'm gonna give him my cave bear paw necklace that I made. When I come back for this one
This
day,
is so mean.
you will be ready. But right now, I have to go talk to Sildar.
It's just like really. Did you kill this thing?
I killed an orc that had it.
Oh, was it as big as the bear?
Oh, it was bigger than the bear.
Oh, that's so cool, man. He's dying.
But one day I'll come back to get this, and on that day you'll be ready to go on adventures. But right now I have to go talk to Sildar, so keep that safe. Don't lose it.
He's like, oh yeah, I gotta go tell, and he goes to the other kid's name. I forget the other kid's name. In town.
I'm gonna like scruff his hair and be like, go have fun.
He's running. He's off. He's like, I got it's so cool.
Hell yeah. That was
You
a
might
fun
be in
little
trouble
interaction.
for that later.
Hey, I thought it was a fun interaction. But I guess we'll continue on.
Yeah. Well, you guys made a kid's day. Like, +1 renown with Phandalin, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, as you guys go up the hill, and we'll go back as you're looking for old man Sildar. It's all these old guys in this town. Every town we go to is filled with old men. Why? Never any young men in these towns. To Phandalin. There we go. As you guys approach Tresnar, you see that like some work has been done on the upper structure, but they're kind of leaving that floor in probably like less decay, but it's been kind of cleaned up. So there's a station up top with a couple of guards upstairs before you would get to the entrance that you guys came out of the last time you were here. When they kind of notice you coming, and they're like, "Excuse me, can we help you?" Kind of one of them stands up, picks the spear up, and the guy's still sitting down.
I'm just gonna look at him and be like, we are, and just tell him straightforward that, like, we are friends of Sildar and we're reporting in to, or we're hoping to see him again for the first time after many moons.
All right, well, I'll go get him. Who should we say is here?
Tell him Sparkle Motion is here.
Yes.
See his eyes kind of like.
I try and stay
and he
serious.
like goes back, and one of them leaves. The other one, who was sitting, he stands, picks up his spear, and let's see how smart this guy is. He's fairly intelligent, and he's like, "Sparkle motion, huh?" It's like, you guys those adventurers that disappeared? Well, that was like a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
It was only a few minutes to us.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a story.
Now
And
you
then,
know.
Yeah.
We did not
Right.
intend to be gone that long.
and so yeah, as he's like, it's like that kind of sounds like a story. But upstairs comes Sildar, and as he's coming out, and he's like, it can't actually be them, and he's kind of like ushering the younger man along. And he looks up and he sees you, and his eyes go wide, and he's just like jaw slack. He's like, I can't believe I didn't know that you were going to come back. He's like, this is great news. He's like, what happened to you? Where were you? And he just wants to know your story, like everyone's going to.
Well, perhaps we should find a more private place before we openly discuss everything we've gone through.
These men are all knights of the Lord's Alliance. I trust them with my life. I trust them here, but you must have been on, a long journey. It's must have, you must have a lot to tell me. So come with me. And he brings you down into the lower level of Transdanar Manor, which I can go put on there. I think you're gonna have some dead bodies, but we'll give you some contextual information on the space.
Where's my Nothic friend?
Right,
Oh wait,
that
that's
guy's
right.
dead.
Sildar killed him because he's a dick.
That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, they moved in. They've moved into the basement here in Trustnar Manor. So let me select all those things and gone. But basically, they've taken over. Everything is now been like cleaned up. All the bed. They're basically being used as the barracks for the Lord's Alliance now. He brings you back into what was a while ago used as Yarno's study, and is now basically his bunk, his barrack, his office, if you will. And he's got you out in this room here in the front. He used to serve as his alchemy lab, but now it's just where he's preparing, different correspondence, and he's got his maps out, stuff for sharpening his sword over there, other things over there, and he's like, well, it's like, is there more private accommodations. It's like you asked. You've got to tell me what happened to you while you were gone. Like I'm dying to know. Like
I'm just going to tell him everything. Just all of it. And even to the degree where Spark is going to take her glove off and show the emblem of where she was marked.
your
To,
little
by
scar.
Grimmer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm jumping that one out there right off the bat. All right.
Well-
Well, so you basically, as you tell Sildar the story of you went to go investigate what was happening at the old Owl Well, and encounter the necromancer, like they had asked you to, I believe, right?
Yes.
Herida's
Um,
idea.
Herida's idea. Okay. To go there, you took care of it. You know, there was the gate underneath. You all, you tell him you and the party swore allegiance
Well, I
to Drew.
tell him I swore allegiance to Droop out of fear that he had my skull in his hand.
So we're at that part in the story. The
I won't
necromancer is
read the
dead on the ground.
details about everybody else swearing alliance, but I will tell them that they did get through the gate as well.
Okay, so you're telling him, you're just telling him, like, I went through, Taliesin, you're in the room, and you're just
Yeah.
kind of like
I'm just
whistling.
standing
I've
there.
basically like given Taliesin the option to tell if he swore alliance to Droop or not. I'm like giving everybody else the option to choose to tell.
So
But I'm throwing myself under the bus.
right.
Right.
So Taliesin was just kind of standing there, just kind of like watching what was happening, to see, I guess, like how much information you were willing to give him. He's gonna say it wasn't just her. I also did. There wasn't really much of a choice in the matter. We he kind of just
He had my skull in his
yeah,
hand.
he could have easily killed Sparkle Gem if we didn't comply. I don't
Okay.
really know what this contract or allegiance actually does. I know it marked us, but I don't know.
Okay, but because that was a lie, the bit about the holding the head and squeezing it and their life being in danger
Deception?
is a deception roll.
I'm okay with that.
Am I okay? I'm doing a deception roll. Okay.
You both would have to, because
Oh,
you
shit.
brought this story in.
Damn it.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm bad at deception. I don't have any.
14?
Okay.
Mine was just a 4.
That's
So as you guys heard, like, and we, our lives were in danger, and that's why we said yes. And like he kind of like hears it and is just all right, but doesn't really react as he's hearing the rest of your story. Raises an eyebrow, but then you just keep telling them all of these events you went through. Then there was this evil creature belt thing that's on the loose now.
there were traps.
There were traps. There were evil, creatures that we
peoples.
later found out were made, created by some ancient deity. Oh my gosh! Then this is running around in the world. We're like freaking out.
Bear showed up.
Yeah,
Pubert magically appeared. Sildar subs. He's like, oh yes. It's like I know. I spoke to Herda. He, when we found that you were missing, he was the one who went to Waterdeep with Mama Piterbottom in order to report this, and Herda called in a favor, I believe, of a wizard there in order to have him taken to him. If I believe that's how that happened. Sildar knows this. He has spoken to Herda since then. Yeah, and he's generally concerned. I mean, he's mostly like excited that you guys are back. I mean, like, uh, was didn't think that you were coming back alive. More adventurers than he'd care to remember have lost their lives in the Neverwinter woods, and it wouldn't be uncommon. But he is very grateful and joyous that you've returned. Bear's not with you, so he would ask about Bear and Godwald because he's particularly interested that Bear, in service of the Lord's Alliance, has returned. He's like, I gotta see the boy. I want to hear his account of the story. He can make his report to
He's
me. Um,
he thought it was best to visit Mama before visiting anybody else. I'm sure she's been worried sick.
yeah, of course. And he's glad. I'm glad that glad that you came to me to tell me all of this and tell me everything that had happened to you. Sounds like quite the harrowing adventure. I'm not sure what you can do about these scars on your hand. They look like normal scars to me. But if you say magic, then perhaps seek out your wizard friend.
Yes.
I did
You would
also
tell,
warn him about Droop marching to retake
right?
Craigmaw's castle.
And so if he had interrupted when we talked about Pubert, that now at the end of the story you'd be bringing up the Droop assault.
Right? Troop ran out, and he's running free in the woods. Sildar would tell you, it's like for a very long time they hadn't seen any goblins. After you guys had cleared out Cragmaw Castle, but that they had seen a few, in the last year since, but nothing like how rampant they were running before.
Yes, but with the
Like
rise
it's
of
like
a new
you
chosen
guys
king.
you guys cleared out that tribe.
I remember it was like
He would let
Maybe.
you know that
they were so brazen before openly attacking caravans.
yeah, he says that there's more that there are reports to be seen in the area, but they don't they're not
They
like
aren't organized
they're not
like they were
seemingly
before.
organized like they were before.
Brazen's a good word.
Yeah, brazen is a good word.
I would tell him.
He would tell you about the town's generally been pretty safe, and that they've mainly brought in different members of the Lord's Alliance. He's got about 7 knights here currently, 3 that are um, out investigating things that people have come to town reporting. He would talk about like how busy Phandalin is compared to how it's been in the past. There seems to be a lot more faces coming through, and because of that, he's so very grateful and happy to see familiar faces that he knows he can trust are here again. Nothing seemingly like groups of bandits coming to town. They would definitely take care of that, but with enough traffic, it's they feel the need to be policing the town. So I can tell you that you could feel rest assured and safe, as there should always be knights walking the streets of Phandalin.
I guess I would bring up the fact that we're telling you this because we know that Droop has headed back to Cragmaw, but we don't know what his intents are. He kind of changed.
I assume his intent is the same as the last king, to organize and take over the area.
I don't know if his time with us has any impact on him now that he has changed. My hope is that yes, but I don't know.
And he asks, "Well, how many troops does this bugbear have with him?"
He had
20 men ish.
maybe 20, but they weren't goblins. He had some weird fish people and some magical armor. that was like sentient. It was.
Well, that's his casters that are with him. They're able to reanimate, or they're able to animate full suits of armor.
Don't forget the rug.
Oh yeah, and a rug.
And the rug. The rug likes to hug. It's not a nice hug though.
No, it's really not.
You guys estimate on how many people went with him is
It's like 15 to 20.
super exactly spot on.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Nah.
that's a little suspicious.
What? I have a really good ability to
Who has
give good rough estimates.
Yeah. Who
I feel
wants
like
to
it was,
roll?
like, maybe
Who wants to
9.
roll an intelligence check to remember the number of baddies that went marching off with him?
I'll do it. Yeah, so that's a 23.
The number was 9. Good guess.
Hey, I was gonna say I think it was 9.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Do you want to
Yeah,
tell him about
no,
the
it was 9.
the necromancer that vanished
nine
too?
creatures that with him.
Yeah, and then, the necromancer, after we had spent our time in the other realm, was gone by the time we came back.
And he's like, actually, he's like, I knew that there was no one. He's like, I saw no remains of such a creature. I was the one who went with some of these brave young men to go investigate when you went missing. Like, we went to the old owl well, and we saw some of the corpses of the undead, but we did not see any of this person that you're talking about. And this was only a few months after you'd gone missing, I think, when we really decided that you were not coming back after 7 months.
From our understanding, we believe we had killed him, and that was our intent in being there, was to kill him because he was raising dead from people in the area. I mean, he was killing people and raising dead to use them as manual labor workers. So we had gone there initially to stop him. We did not intend to be gone as long as we were.
He is like basically in full commander receiving new information on the warfront mode. He has gotten out paper, he's sitting at the desk with his map on it, and he's writing information down to send along to the Lord's Alliance. He's just like, okay. And he's like, it's like there's these creatures have come out of a magical pit. You said, what was it?
The portal.
A magical portal, and he's crafting a letter to the Lord's Alliance, or the seat of the Lord Alliance, to report on these different things. The necromancer may still be at large. It's just like kind of, he's it's like basically like it's like we didn't have like we haven't heard anything about the any more of the undead since you've been been gone. Like mainly the stories we receive nowadays are about strange men robbing people or moving along the Tribord Trail. And they, from the reports, what we've put together is that they are these dragon cultists that you may recall from so many years ago that are in the area. So they're like the rumors. Basically, he'd tell you that they've panned out and that they
you
have
mean like
taken
2
up.
weeks
They
ago?
have taken right
Yeah.
years ago. All of that panned out. They are basically being active in the area, and they do occasionally like stop people and rob them on the road. A dragon is confirmed to be living in the ruins of Thunder Tree, as it can be seen flying over, flying over the areas in the Neverwinter woods, and has, seems to have claimed that area as its territory
A dragon.
and its seat at Thunder Tree. It's like,
Well,
and that's
dang.
been the Lord's Alliance main concern about things that are happening in the area.
Yeah, that sounds like a big concern.
Are we
Man, we really
ready?
gave him
They've
we really gave him a head start with that whole 6 minutes,
Right,
2
being
years
gone
thing.
for a week, and next thing we know, it's been years.
We should have killed that dragon cultist. I mean, I don't know if that would have stopped anything.
We should have investigated the cultist before the necromancer.
So I'm gonna ask him.
Or not gone into the scary tomb. I mean, none of you had to jump through the magic portal.
But it seemed
But my
cool
life was
though.
totally in
Sorry,
danger.
I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna ask him. Sildar, we've been gone. We've been gone for a long time, as you know. What we would like to offer our skills as adventurers in any way that we can. What would you say would be what would be the best use of our skills? What would where should we go from here?
Well, he'd let you know that from what he does here, when troops are exchanged back from Phandalin to Waterdeep and Neverwinter, like through the mouse, is essentially the lords of Waterdeep in the areas, specifically the Lord of Neverwinter, uh, is not voting to do anything about the dragon in the area, saying that it's you know it's simply living there in the area, and it's taken up its base at in the ruins of Thunder Tree, and they're not concerned about the dragon attacking Neverwinter, and so they choose to do nothing about it.
Hmm. With the
So
dragon living so close and they're not worried about it? At least the people
that
in
is the case.
charge.
Wait, what
I-
type of dragon? Have they seen this dragon? And if so, like, what type of dragon is it?
It's actually hasn't been identified from where it is, and they've definitely it would be one of the lords of the south in Waterdeep sending troops, sending a scout to find something. Haven't been reported back, but let's see, and he wouldn't know much else about
Okay.
it. It all seems like political things that are well above his pay grade. He would expect, and he knows that there is a reward for killing the dragon or routing the dragon to leave Thunder Tree, but the cities are not committing troops to taking care of it because there's some bickering going on between the lords seated at Waterdeep and the lord of specifically the Lord of Neverwinter.
Well, it sounds like we should head to Neverwinter at some point. But should we try to see if we can find
Oh, but the price on the dragon's head
Yeah.
is 100,000 gold.
Holy shit.
I
A lot
say
of
we
gold.
go to Winterdeep first and take care of the dragon second. With that type of reward, that dragon.
I'm not saying that we go take care of the dragon right now. I think that maybe we should further our skills a little bit.
He tells you that them putting a high bounty on the dragon is a way for the collective lords of Waterdeep to have action from they hope to draw from people and
That's an
adventurers
incentive.
rather than to have to move on their own or to move any of their own troops.
Should we go see if we can find Gundren in this mine before we do that? We did tell him we would check in, and it's been a couple years.
That's very true. Should we first go discuss with Jerk's wannabe girlfriend? And
A
So
little
you
bit
wish
about
that was about the cave to begin with, like, because she would probably be the one who knows Gundren best, or at least his well-being.
so a little bit else that Sildar would be telling you, and we won't RP it or anything. I'm just gonna let you know real fast. Is that the dragon cult is known as the Keepers of the Horde. They've definitely been able to find that out from, you know, catching the remains off of dead dragon cultists and things. They haven't gotten anyone alive. The dragon cultists have not allowed themselves to be captured alive. That's with the Lord's Coastman. Yeah. And basically they haven't and he also there's still a bounty on the head of Glassstaff. He has not been found. And there's still the open bounty on his head from before. It's been years. Papers growing dusty on it. No one's had
No
anything
one-
back through. A couple bounty hunters have come by to try to collect, see if there's something worth finding, and no one's found anything.
I have a staff.
Yeah, you do have his staff.
We've
Yeah.
gotten close.
But he does think that just because the Lord's Alliance doesn't pass him any more information doesn't mean that there isn't any more information about what's happening in Thunder Tree, or that other groups aren't moving either. So maybe if you guys have more connections, to see if you can find out more.
Okay.
And let him know. But he's here. He's here to keep the peace. But divulge what hand out money for bounties they collect. Put people behind bars when they commit crimes. He's pretty happy living in Phandalin. It's almost like where he wants to retire.
So given all of this information, I would like to go find my elf friend that owns the orchard, because last I spoke to him, he was reaching out to, I think, Neverwinter. Was that correct?
Was it through the Harpers?
Yes.
Darren Endermath.
Yeah,
would've-
Darren. I'd
Yeah.
given him those buffalo, and then I told him about the necromancer and I think the dragon cultist, and he was writing a letter to somebody. So I kind of want to go find him and see what
Would've been
information
the-
he has.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it would have been to his group, the Harpers, that he's a part
Yeah.
of.
Okay.
Oh no! Wait. Was he or? Hold on.
I don't think he was like a Lord's Alliance dude.
Darren
Yeah.
was a Harper,
Yeah.
retired, but
Yeah,
I
but
think-
was he in my version, or is he the one they rewrote? That's what I really want to look up.
like when
Yep. that's it.
Taliesin
All right.
and at least one other person went to tell Darren what was going on,
Yeah.
especially using the word necromancer, he said he would get in talk to contacts in Harper's. That he was retired, but this was important.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's just go through you guys back on that map. Spark Gem, giving this information and talking to Sildar, and him sharing back what they've been taking care of, which is mainly just policing for, and they have goblin raids, trying to get information, but not getting any marching orders to do anything about what he considers the biggest threat. He hopes you guys will do something about.
The fucking dragon.
Yeah, he's very concerned about it. And feels like people should be more concerned about it. But he's usually very concerned about things.
Yes.
Let's see. There.
He's a concerned man.
All right, Sparkle Gem, are you going to go meet up with the group? You guys.
Yeah, I feel like at this point regrouping and then heading over to the miners' exchange before finding. Well, okay, so as a group, are we thinking stay the night in Fandolin and then head out in morning? That way we could spend the night discussing everything everyone's gathered, blah blah blah.
Yeah, we could probably stay at the
Restocking, all that stuff.
inn. If you guys are going to the miners' exchange, I'm going to the Endermath Orchard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the miners' exchange, but I think we should definitely stay the night because we've got there's gonna be a party
Okay.
at the Piter Bottom house.
Oh, see, I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, we can't miss that.
A coming home party, right before you just leave immediately again.
Right?
If you guys want to go to the miners' exchange first, real quick, I need to switch out my laundry.
Yeah, we'll do that just because we'll get someone else on the mic. That is a small tower, and so is that. And by that, I mean like kind of just raised up stone walls and one
Like
for
a
an entry.
tower starting to be built.
Something that people could build with no experience in building towers.
Some stonework. There's been some miners and masonry coming through. Like I said, these walls have been getting repaired. And this one goes around. So, anyways, that's a fence. I should make it a different color. But anyhow, all right. So, if you guys meet up at the Piter Bottom home to share some news that you just received from Sildar about what's been going on, everybody who's there can kind of get caught up, and it does not take very long period of time to get to and from any place in Fandolin. So you're able to then quickly get down south to the Miners' Exchange. Gosh, do you guys want to see it? So you want to find that picture we found of it before? I'm gonna find it. It's going to be literally every single Miners' Exchange you ever go to in any city anywhere.
They're all the
Wait.
same.
This is okay.
So the Miners' Exchange, you head down. It's actually a hustle and bustling kind of place at this time of the day. Some people are actually getting back from their travels. They're coming into town from the foothills of the mountains, and with some of like, all the gold they've been able to panhandle out of the out of the rivers, and trying to find some little tiny stones and be like, yeah, how much is this worth? And they're bartering with Haawww. The door's open, you're able to enter in.
As soon as we enter in, I just raise my hands up and go, "Hey, Haawww, long time no see. How's
Last time you
Tricks?"
got down.
Big surprised open eyes. She's only seen a few red devil men, one ever in her life, and she instantly recognizes you, as will everyone you ever meet, ever. And and she's just like, jerk, like, and I mean, Sparkle Gem, Godwald, Bear all come into the Miners' Exchange.
Let's say I knew you wouldn't forget me.
Okay.
Is there an option to sidle in and not be affiliated with him?
She, yeah, you absolutely can. You could just like
Yeah.
wait a while and just come in behind the door because
Yeah.
she is all
I don't
eyes
have any
on,
business today.
just all eyes on Jerk. Just like, oh, I can't believe you're back. Like, so have you been to hell, or was that happen before you got here?
Oh.
Or that happened before I ever met you?
Oh, come on. That's rough. That's rough. Yeah, we were in
banter with her.
hell a little bit. But we're back. Apparently time passes slightly differently in hell. But yeah, you look busy. What's going on? How's business going? I see you got your line out the door. I was surprised I could get in here.
Yeah, she like kind of turns to the person who is at the counter, like shuts him down on the price that he was asking, like says it's never gonna happen. Get back out there, and she'll buy something once she sees something worth value. As the guy like folds up his thing and like it's kind of sad. It's like, oh, well, I didn't think it was that small of a stone. And it grumbles out, and then she's like, yeah, business is great. She's like, all sorts of people are making claims in the hills, hoping to find, their, you know, their emerald rush. She's like, but they keep bringing back things that I keep buying. She's like, they keep that stuff. If you, oh my gosh, it's like, so where have you been? Like, what has this adventure been like? Of course, everyone's fucking wants to know where you've been. And
Um,
didn't, but she's like, you say it's a long story or a short story?
oh, this is a long story.
Well, what's the short version?
Short version is we killed a necromancer. I ended up in a different realm. We're back now. 6 years passed. It was about a week for us, but hey, we're back now. Um, I forgot what you wanted me to do. You had a task for me. It's
The guy, the guy who like was next in line after the guy who just got shushed away, just kind of is like looking up at you, like just 4'7" tall guy, just kind of like in amazement at the list of things that just came out of your mouth as he's like holding a sort of satchel and just sort of backs away, like dimensions, things, devil man, and you can tell that feels out of his depth with what happened. And did you literally just ask her what she asked you to do
yes,
Mm.
3 years ago?
3 years ago.
3 years ago, she's like, I don't know, and I'm not sure I much care. But I do have business nowadays that you might be able to help me with.
All right. Well, we maybe
If
we can come to an
I
agreement because we I know you deal in things other than you know the minerals and all this fun stuff. So our group is actually looking for some information. When you get a second, maybe we could all have a little discussion.
and she's like, she goes, how about dinner tonight?
That sounds good. That sounds real good.
Good. She's like, I'll see you at the inn. If you don't mind, you're scaring my customers.
Absolutely. All right. I'll see you later. Tonight at the end. And I walk out.
She's like, dinner, you're buying.
That's fine.
After Jerk walks out, I'm just gonna look at her and kind of be like, what has been coming out of Wave Echo Cave? What happens there? Is Gundren still around? Is he still alive?
And she just basically indicates that she's like, we can. What? So you just come up and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck these other people in line.
Yeah.
This-
All right, I want to know what's
spot
been
that was
what's been
filled by
coming out of
Jerk.
Wave Echo Cave, and what was the other part about Gundren?
And if he's still around and running it, or has he passed? Like,
Is one of the people in this line from him.
yeah, it's one of the people in line from him.
Basically, she goes. Actually, Gundren comes back occasionally. It's like. She's like, he comes back occasionally, but he's been very tight-lipped about what he's been finding in the mines. Hasn't said much of anything at all. She's like, I'd actually be interested. She's like, I'd actually be interested if you would go out there and find out what's going on. She's like, if I remember correctly, you and your friends are entitled to part of that mine, provided you do some work for him.
Yeah, there is that business arrangement.
She's like, well, I'll tell you this. She's like, nothing's been spoken about that arrangement to me since he's been gone. Now, if you don't mind, I have some customers, and I'll talk to you guys later. And she's just turns back to some of the bewildered people in line as this series of events that just happened as they're like, okay, that was fun. And so I've got this, you know. They just keep going about their time.
I guess I'll leave without pickpocketing people in line.
That's up to you.
Yeah, I'll just leave. I don't want to cause trouble.
Huh.
For once.
All right. I mean, she seems pretty busy, and she doesn't seem like she's interested in talking in front of all of these people.
Right.
And this is, you know, this is her bread and butter, so. And
Fair
it's
enough.
good, and the mining business is good in Vandalin now, and she's key proprietor of the mining business in Vandalin, so.
That's thanks to Sparkle Motion, but
Right.
That's true. Might be. So I think there was a desire to go to Edermath Orchard.
I wanted to go to see what information he had.
What you find when you get to Edermath Orchard is absolutely nothing that looks like what's in front of you. Like I said before, like all the trees across the orchard have been cut down. In their place, the field has been replaced a bunch of kind of temporary housing. You know, like semi-permanent sort of thing. Like I said, teepees, tents. You know, like parts of log cabins kind of being built together. Um, you would find Darren's house where it was before, though. And if you approach his home, you'd find him home.
I would like to. I mean,
Taliesin, is that you?
hang on. No, yeah,
Taliesin.
you should be. Can you guys hear me at all?
I heard
I hear
I would
you.
like to. And
Yeah, I
then
hear ya.
kinda cut out.
Everything
Okay.
cut out.
Okay, yeah, my for some reason my ping went like sky high there for a second. Oh, I was asking if I was just walking up to the door, but yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I would like to walk up to the door and knock and like just call out in like Elvish for Darren.
It's like Darren, but with an accent, 'cause it's his name.
Yeah.
You're kidding. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He answers the door. My goodness, Taliesin, is that you? And he's like,
Yes.
yeah, he's like, you haven't aged a day. Like, it's
I mean,
well, of course.
we don't
we
really
don't
age that much.
Like, so I'm so glad to see that you're. I'm so glad to see that you're back. Like, what happened to you guys when you went off into what we felt was like the Neverwinter Wood and never to be seen again. That is what they say. But here you are.
Lo- uh, long story short, we went to face that necromancer that I told you about, which I guess was a couple years ago now, and ended up in another realm. To what to us was about 6 minutes. Apparently, here was a little over 2 years. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on now. What happened to your orchard?
I'm like,
And
well,
and
actually, oh, sorry.
I know you sent off word when I told you about the necromancer. I did it. I don't. I'm just trying to see what insight maybe you have of the situation at hand currently.
Well, I'm so glad to see that you're alive, and it's like I guess as far as my orchard goes, you can kind of see what happened to it, but with all the people coming through Phandalin, there wasn't enough space at the inn. Um, like people needed some homes more than I needed to sell my apples, and you know, I kind of took it upon myself to use my land to give them space to rent. Actually, I'm it's like actually I rent these out to venturers and travelers as they come through.
I see. Are the buffalo okay?
Oh my, those buffalo. He's like, oh, it's like after you were gone for so long, I sold them off to Barthen.
As long as they're all right, I mean that's fair. As long as they're yeah, that's fine.
But so I mean, but as far as the matter that you're speaking about the necromancers, like come inside and let's have a talk. It's like
Okay.
he found out a little bit about them from back then, and the Harpers would have a little bit more information because they've been working with a druid of the Emerald Enclave. So, Darren would be able to tell you, like, in the times past when you guys went missing, the Sildar and Sildar and some of his knights went looking for you, and then he paid attention to see what they would find out if they had encountered this necromancer. He felt that between the troop of them, they would be able to handle themselves, but they found nothing. The necromancer's name. Oh my gosh, you actually get to know the necromancer's name now, you guys.
She has.
His name is Haman Cost. And
Is that
he came so he actually he's come from a very far
H-O-M-N?
he had come from a very far away land known as Thay. It's far off to the east. And he comes from a sect of wizards who tattoo their flesh with their spells. And you can tell from the tattoo that's always on their forehead from what school of magic that they're descend from. And it seems that you guys have figured that out, without needing to read it. He's clearly bringing back the dead. This comes from the school of necromancy.
Yes.
He's been seen. So what the Harpers have been looking for him, and their spies, as they've been traveling, haven't heard much commotion except for in that there's a lot of political upheaval in Neverwinter,
Yes.
where where nearby in the ruins of Old Thunder Tree, this dragon is taken roost. So between the Harper spies, we're really information network, because they're really like the Harpers are really just like agents who share information, not really a spy involved with any kind of subterfuge or anything. They're just people who are kind of looking out for the land and
Yeah.
for the people of it.
So like
It's
various.
Yeah.
He always said
like-
that his
Yeah.
loyalty was to the realm.
to the realm. Yeah, you could say that's fair of what the Harpers do. I mean, the Lord's Alliance think they do the same thing too.
Mhm.
But the Harpers are more like individual agents operating, and sharing information across the land. They send letters to each other and let them know each other what's going on. Haman has been seen with the dragon cultists, and basically the information network's able to find out that he's taken up with them, though they don't really know much else. He's just been seen in the area of Thunder Tree.
So he's still alive.
Some people in Neverwinter have talked about how he's been seen, and that that he's alive. They never thought he was dead.
Okay, because I mean, we heard.
They,
I mean, I
he
literally
thought-
lit him
he
on
thought
fire.
he thought that Haman had probably killed you guys. And that
Oh,
you,
no,
so you'd gone
we-
missing. And then
we thought that
when
we killed
Sildar
him.
went off to and then Sildar went off to find you, and there was your bodies weren't there. It seemed like that gate had been excavated that they had found, and that your bodies weren't there. He thought he'd killed you guys, brought you back, and you were going to be a part of his army somewhere. He was sad but very happy to see you.
You know, when we killed him, or what we thought was killing him, I felt he was felt like he went down a little too easily. So I'm not 100%. I mean, I am surprised that he's not dead, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I kind of felt like this may happen. He is a wizard more powerful in the ways of magic than I, so I'm not sure on what he has gotten into, but it sounds like all signs are pointing towards Neverwinter.
Well, he does. So he could offer a few explanations that he would think that might, for what you're kind of saying. It's like, well, it's like he was a necromancer. Perhaps some magic he knows brings himself back from the dead. It's like I don't
Right.
know much. I don't know much about wizards' magic. It's like it's also possible, I suppose, that there was another necromancer from Thay, and maybe they're impersonating each other. It's like it doesn't seem likely.
Hmm.
It's like, but there could be explanations for the things you're describing.
Yeah. I think I need to head back and let my party know all this information. But I think that we're probably going to head towards Neverwinter, if not immediately, sometime in the near future. In the event that we find ourselves in that direction, do you have anyone that maybe I can count on there?
In the city of Neverwinter. Yeah, he knows an agent named Aldar who works at the Rumored Hearth.
Aldar.
Works at the Rumored Hearth.
Um,
And actually, what you'd probably find is him seeing that you're alive, and something that he had actually been on his mind in the past. When you've been before you had left to handle this, is when you came back. If you had handled this, he wanted to offer you an insignia of the Harpers, so that you might act as your own independent agent to help protect the land and its people, and to continue to share information with them.
of course, I'd be honored.
And so he basically was able to pull out of a desk in his house their insignia, and it's a patch. It can be sewn onto a piece of clothing of some kind. And he hands you, and he basically says to wear it proudly, and I'll tell you a whole little bit about the Harpers, actually, if you want.
I will say, in the name of my lady Sylvanas, I will protect the land in this realm.
So the Harpers is a very old organization, and he would kind of told you about this as he's kind of initiating you. It's an old organization. It has risen, been shattered, risen again several times. They all believe that that resilience is due to being like decentralized, grassroots, and secretive generally. So though the patch could be signed on something, it is just handed to you separately.
Okay.
And it's because like all of the members essentially operate with autonomy, essentially autonomy. Sometimes there's like cells as an operatives, and it kind of like who know each other as other harpers. The ideology in general is noble. There's a pride in being incorruptible. They're not out seeking power or glory, but just fair and equal treatment of all people.
So they're just like neutral spies that are looking out for the best for equality and like the betterment of the realm.
Yeah, generally,
Which is totally what Taliesin would be down for. So
yeah. Well, there are spies. They mentioned that there might be some spies in their employ, but typically they are just like single adventurers.
yeah,
But the beliefs essentially boil down to this: one can never have too much information. Too much power leads to corruption, and no one should be powerless. And they generally have the goals to discern political dynamics in the regional realm. They act openly as a last resort, so very rarely are you like, I am a blank of the Harpers. Oh, but actually there is a rank that you would get. Oh man. It's the, remind me, write it down for me to remind you. I'm not gonna stop. But there is a rank that you would receive amongst the Harpers. Level 1 Harper. Initiate. Harper Initiate. It has a name. There's a title that goes with it.
all right.
Yeah.
I can't spell correctly. There we go. So
Yeah,
I will.
Eldar at the rumored hearth.
I would. I will thank him, and I'm gonna give him a hug.
Oh, he gives
And
you a hearty wood elf hug.
hell yeah.
He's not all stuck up like them high elves. He's in for a hug.
Hell
Bring it
yeah.
in. Bring it in, buddy. Glad to see that you survived the ordeal. And
I will.
he's like, I know that the Harpers will, appreciate any information that you bring us about, what's happening. If you can get us just even more information about what's going on at Thunder Tree, where, there's really nothing coming in and out of there, and it seems very odd.
I will do my best, and I promise I'll keep in touch and let you know what I find. And then he's gonna head back to where did everyone else go? Did you guys all go back to like the inn?
They went to the Miners Exchange, and then
Yeah.
I don't know where they went afterwards.
So I'm gonna head back towards the inn. As I do that, I want just this is like just flavor for as I'm walking back. I'm gonna use just like something random that I have in my pack to like fasten the patch to my gold scarf.
Wait, run
Can I
that
do
by
that?
me again?
I just as I'm like walking back because it's gonna take me a minute to get back to town.
Oh, you would have.
I just want to like I'm gonna like I want to like sew it on to like my gold scarf that I'm wearing.
You do know the seamstress in town is the Piter Bottom's mom.
Okay.
Totally do that for you.
Well, I will head there then to see if she'll do that for me.
Yeah, I believe that would be where you would meet everyone else if they
Oh, that's
left
right.
the Miners Exchange and didn't go anywhere else too.
They said that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So we'll meet there.
Yeah. All right. Back to the Miners Exchange. No, back to the Townmaster's Hall. No, the Shrine of Luck. No. Best shrine ever. Stacked up stones. It's a humble shrine.
What is that from? It looks like it's from like the 3D version of like RuneScape.
Apparently, this town has been like like Phandalin has been like made and remade, and apparently it's the whatever one is in some other game.
Hmm.
So this is the Luck Shrine
Hmm.
apparently, but it's just one like game's remake of that or something. I cannot remember where I stole this from. I was hoping that something I was gonna say would spawn it.
Yeah, I
in
don't
my
know.
memory. And then we go back here. Talk friendly NPCs. Or we just look back at Phandalin. Oh,
I
we
hope
could look at
that Carp grows up to be the most awesome boy adventurer.
Oh yeah, he's got a lust for adventuring now that he is seeing that not only like his mom was telling him that like adventurers die, honey. You can't do that. You gotta be careful. And then like you guys come back and he's like, see mom, they don't die.
Adventurers totally die, but not the good ones.
Yeah, next time that Jared can't make it, we'll do
He's-
a one shot with Carp leading his own crew, and I'll run it.
Yes.
Yes. I
It'd be
love
like
that
the
idea.
Just
Johnny Quest of the
just use the
fantasy world.
pre-gen level ones.
Be pretty
Oh
dope.
yeah. Well, it has to be lower than townsperson, like everybody at 10. They'd have to be
No,
like
like years ago.
less intelligent.
Years
Definitely not
later.
as wise. Oh, years later? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's not going to give up.
Flash forward.
What just happened?
It's like
I don't
Phandalin, the
know.
next
All I can
generation.
see is Phandalin.
I just got the whole thing rebooted for me. I don't know when I clicked that, but I guess I did. So I'm coming back in.
I did
You guys
enjoy
are.
that. I did enjoy that little slideshow of our past adventures a second ago.
I mean, it's actually kind of hard to like move because there's such a long and there's only one way to organize it, and it's one really long timeline full of maps.
Uh,
And I like made so many more than are built into the encounter for like each town master's hall and shit.
Huh. I wish there was a way you could do it like we do in
Yeah.
D&D Beyond and move the inactive stuff to another campaign.
That'd be nice. But okay, so where we were going to? We were going back to the Fighter Bomb home.
yep.
There's no building picture for that. We've never had one. This is just what we look at when we're
Like
here.
we spent
You
so
guys
much
back at the
time
Fighter
there.
Bomb home.
It's the
I
only one
know.
that doesn't have a picture.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great note. Let's all remember that one forever and ever.
Like, just put two black rectangles so we only see the top left of this picture, so it just says Old Pitterbottom Home in big letters.
Here. Yeah, right. So all the other ones, ignore them. They're small. Okay. Anyways, yeah, you guys go back. Yeah, you could share the information that you've gotten from Darren.
Mhm.
Go back on. Although I think Jerk has dinner plans
I
this
do.
evening.
Was it just me, or was this going to be a group thing?
We could go see if Hirda's back.
All
I
right.
think she went. I think she went to go. I think Sparkle. Wait, no. Wait, sorry. Hammond cost. That's right. Taking a break. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Okay, so as the evening approaches, is there anything anybody is looking to do? Mama Fighter Bottom has been at it in the kitchen. She is going to town.
I just want her to sew my.
Business has been good. Lots of shirts needing repaired as these guys go off mining and coming back.
So I
torn
assume
up.
before evening really starts and we like start the party, we should probably get Q Bear back. So call it full next week.
Oh, well, then we'll do dinner for. I mean, if you guys
Well,
don't want
right.
to hang out while Jerk does his dinner, I understand.
I have an idea actually. So can I have? I want to ask Mrs. Piterbottom if she will not only sew the patch onto my golden ornate silk cloth, but if she could like make it into kind of like a cowl or like a hooded cloak kind of deal.
if she could like take the table, the golden silken tablecloth,
Hmm.
and make it into a cowl with
Yeah,
the thing sewn
like
on.
a hood and stuff, but with it, yeah, with a patch sewn onto it.
Like straight on
And
the back
she,
of the cape part, or
okay, we could.
I don't think the patch is that big. It could just be like on like the lapel area, or
Okay,
I guess maybe
how,
it should be more
okay.
hidden.
like how commonly known is this sigil?
Let me come back. Let me come back to you there because I just did. I did you over at
Yeah.
the Endermath Orchard. Let me get into the Stonehill Inn and dinner with Jerk and Halia.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot they were doing that. My bad.
Yep. So, just kind of like the evening goes on. So we're talking more like, sunset. People get their dinners. Um, Jerk, you get you guys have spent time. You've cleaned up in the bath and everything. You actually don't stink.
Nice. For
Yeah,
once.
I know, right? And you go to the Stonehill Inn, which is a hustling and a bustling. Um, is again just generally more people than you guys have ever seen in town. Um, the kitchen staff has increased. You would probably see like Toblin Stonehill back behind the counter, and Halia has uh, arrived before you and has a table with two glasses of wine set out, and she
Ooh.
gestures over. She's like, over here.
Now go take a seat.
All right, and she basically she's like, all right, like I want to appreciate and thank you for taking the hint that I didn't want to be having this discussion in front of everyone down at the Miners Exchange.
No, I understand completely.
So seriously, what the hell happened to you guys?
That
Like, where did you
was
go? You disappeared from Dandelion. She's like, I've had a lot of work on my plate and no one to do any of it.
well, okay, so we went to go take care of that necromancer, and then a portal opened, and we went through the portal, and we ended up on a different plane of reality. We met all kinds of awful creatures over there. A belt attacked me. There were fish people casting magic spells. There was a carpet that attacked my buddies. There were floating suits of armors and swords. There was a little demon guy for a little bit. Someone summoned him. It flooded full of water, so we almost drowned. Well, not drowned, but fell down a couple times. Uh, a belt tried to kill me. All in 6 minutes.
That's
And then Pew Bear showed up. We got out of there. We got here within about a couple days, and like what has been about a week for us has been over 2 years here. So it's I'm just as confused as anybody. Um,
that's a crazy story. She's
yeah.
like, and you survived it all, though. Look at you.
Oh, barely. That goddamn belt. It was talking to my head, and it kept squeezing me, and then healing me, then squeezing me, then healing me. I fucking hate that thing, and I'm gonna kill it. Oh, by the way, it did make it
That
back into
sounds
this. It made it back into this world, so it's here somewhere.
well. That's very interesting to know. And she would start asking about like, she's like, do you know the name of it? And just like, what do you know about it? And would inquire about those things.
Well, okay,
Just like,
I'll
she would
I want to ask her
try and keep
about.
that going.
So what's before we get
She
into all
also has something
that?
she wanted to tell you. Well,
What
she's
what's
here as
been
well.
going on? What's been going on here?
You talk about all this stuff. She's curious about. Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about like the creature, like the thing that was in the belts?
Well, the
How you got there? She's very interested in the details. Thinks she wants to ask, would you tell her the story that you've?
well, I want to. I've never actually like looked her over real quick. I want to see if like there's any kind of my eye. I want to look at around the room with my eye, see if there's any like demons or anything like that, or see if there's anything off about her. I want to test this new eye out.
All right. I mean, as you scan the room, you actually don't see anything here. Madeline, she checks out. You've yet to maybe experience this kind of thing, and you're not quite sure what it is you're going to see, but everything appears normal to you. So
Okay.
you trusting that wizard means you trust that she's not an evil demon.
Yes, I'm going to ask her. I'm like, you don't like worship any weird ancient evil gods, do you?
She's like, what? She's like, I don't worship any gods.
Oh,
She's like,
thank
what have they done
Jesus.
for me? She's like, what have they done for me? They never do anything for us. They never do anything for all the little millions of mortals wandering around Faerun.
Okay, well,
No,
if
they're obsessed with their own power and their own things that they want to get.
all right, well, if you ever change your mind, don't trust him because that belt used to be a dude. He's been stuck down in that other dimension for over 1,000 years. He's back and he's on the Goblin King, who isn't a goblin. He's a fucking bugbear. It's been a weird couple of days for us.
Well, she's like, I'm going to ask you more about that. She's like, and I
That's
want to know, and you'll tell me, right?
yeah, why not?
She's like, I really appreciate that. She's like, but things have been interesting since you've been gone, and I don't feel like there's a lot of people around this town who quite grasp everything about what's been happening. She's like, it's not just weird that Gundren hasn't brought in the Lord's Alliance to secure the mine. She's like, it's downright insane. She's like, I don't think that he's himself, or I don't think he's in control of himself. Or at the very least, that's no Gundren that I know. She's like, he was all about taking this mine for his family and for the and for the name of the city. What is it? This dwarven city to the north. I think it's Mirabar. Mirabar to the north. It's all about making this about for him, his family, and his people. It's like, and then suddenly you guys disappear. Gundren comes back without any of the guards that he brought with him. Says that everything's fine. And he just sometimes brings back like gemstones, like gold and things, stuff that not be what I would expect to be seeing coming from the mine, but almost like clockwork. Once a month, he comes back with a little something, and very little to say.
So
I didn't want to say this because as as people who have signed a contract for maybe the miners exchange, I don't want to be giving away all my clients' information in front of other clients. Not polite conversation to share this in front of people who, you know, now
now
I keep track of where their claims are.
I get it. Business first. No, I totally get it. That's why I'm glad you met with me. Plus, I've been looking forward to this date for how long? At this point, over 3 years. So thanks. Thanks for finally giving in.
I
Um,
did need a private place to have this conversation. She's like, but so she kind of has that to tell you. Control himself. Seems to be acting on the guidance of others.
now, is he actually? They hadn't found the mine when we left. Are we positive that he found the mine? We found the map, but we had never found the mine.
Well, she tells you, she's like, well, she's like, this may or may not surprise you, but I'm not. She's like, I'm not just like the herald at the miners' exchange. She's like, I'm a member of the group called the Zentarim, and I was actually waiting for you to bring me the ahead of Glassstaff, or the location of the mine before I brought you in. We didn't get much time to talk before you left the last time. I'd like to. I'd like to see if you would continue working for me. Give you a couple jobs, a couple things to do, and like in exchange, I pay you very well. And maybe if it's not money that you want, but something else, maybe I can obtain it for you. She's
Okay.
like, but I don't trust anyone. So she had Gundren followed. What was your question? Because that's the whole part. That's the whole thing I wanted to say. Is like,
Um,
actually, I've had him followed.
if he'd actually found Wave Echo Cave.
Oh, right. Yeah. She had him followed. He does go to the mine. The entrance is where it's marked on their map. And between her agents, you could actually see some of them. She would tell you that you might be able to find some of the others on your travels between here and wandering around the city. She lets you know about the Zentrum and their insignia.
Okay. I am gonna ask her if she can get us a map or mark on
She
my.
goes, "Do you have your map on you?"
I do. I've got a map on me. This is also this might be where Glassstaff is too. I found this. This is the map that I found on a body of a shapeshifter, a doppelganger that attacked me. I killed it and I stole its map. That was a long time ago, so it might not be accurate. But here's a map to mark this Wave Echo Cave on.
I would say you lying sack of crap.
What is he lying about?
Stealing the map? Wait, no, you did get that map.
Goddamn right I did.
No, because
Yeah,
the
I was
one
like-
map I pickpocketed off somebody and then stashed into your pocket.
I think we gave that map. That was the map that we gave to Gundren.
No, because
guys
the
have
map we gave to
two-
Gundred was a different map.
All right.
Because
Well,
guys have
Oz found that
maps in
one
your
first.
possession.
Yeah,
Well,
Oz
I
found
don't
the
care.
Gundred map and gave it to Gundren.
I don't think it matters which map she marks it on. I just want to know where the cave is.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm just
I don't
giving you a
remember him.
hard
I was gonna say he didn't lie about that though. So
Deception check.
do it. Check. 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 Deception. Check.
But
Check.
I'm not. I'm not deceiving anybody.
I know. Wave Echo Cave.
Now, yeah, I want to ask her about the dragon cult too.
Wait, I'm not gonna write it like a. Okay. Someone can type on this, right? They can type Wave Echo Cave next to the red X that I just made.
I got it.
Thank you.
Oh, that's really close.
It is a mountain. So it's gonna involve some climbing.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
Oh, you are. You son of a bitch. But so basically, she tells you this piece that she doesn't believe that Gundren's in control of himself, or something's very off about him because his behavior changed so dramatically from when you guys were here to when you disappeared and he started showing up, and again like clockwork, which isn't so common. She'll let you know a bit about that, and just the Zentrum in town that you might be able to ask favors of or get information from if you just remember their phrase. Ready to remember their phrase?
Yes.
It's the Zentrum are family. We watch out for it, and it watches out for us. It's their current greeting to one another.
Zentrum are family. We watch out for it, and it watches out for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she showed me the emblem.
Mm-hmm. Yep, she shows you the emblem. And I'll let you know a little bit about Zentrum and this area. So,
And then I
I think you
asked.
pretty much know what's important about it just from knowing Haawww and the kind of person she is.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much get an idea. She doesn't seem to offer too much specifics about these agents, but this is the way that you would greet and ask yourself. And where's the stupid symbol? I'll tell you what it is. Oh, I won't. I won't remember what it is. But anyways, I'll get it up to you next time.
All right.
I don't want to stutter and stop there.
And then is the we having dinner or breakfast for the welcome home party?
Well, you guys got there about lunchtime, and she has been in the kitchen saying there's going to be a celebration,
Okay.
and she has been working all evening. But you guys have been sitting over a couple plates. One of the one of the waitresses comes over, and you like kind of her eyes go really wide, looking at you, as definitely the strangest looking person she's ever seen
Damn it.
in the establishment. And she's just kind of like, okay, well, so would you like to order your entrees? Like,
Well, like I was asking because is this
wait,
around?
no,
Is this
she had food.
Yeah,
She
is
had the food
this?
and drink ready. Yeah, she's like, yeah, just ask if you want anything to drink. Stunned.
Is this around the time the party is going to start? Because I don't want to miss the party.
You don't want to miss. Oh, you don't want to miss it.
No.
I mean, I hope you eat some food. You've been having this conversation. I'm assuming eating dinner over
Yeah,
this.
eating and having a
Let's
glass
talk.
of wine while we're talking. So I'll
Yep.
pay the waitress how much. I ask her how much I owe her, or how much we owe her.
Let's just say gold for the plates of food, and what do we cost? Like they were, yeah, gold should cover you both, and
Okay. Well, I give her
that's fair.
two. I give her 1 gold and 1 silver. 1 gold, 1 silver, and then I invite my date to the Piter Bottoms for the celebration, and then I leave.
She goes, "Oh, that's very nice of you, but no, thank you." It's and she's like, but she's like, I've got. She basically has work for you. She's like, I've got work for you if you're looking for work. If you're back in the game, to, to being gone for
It's like
being
John
gone for
Wick.
2 years make you weak.
Oh God, no! I'm ready to get back into it. I just gotta celebrate for a night. You might
All
you
right.
should come. You look like you could use a little. You look a little uptight. Good. A little
Oh,
relaxation will
He's consistent.
do
We'll give him
wonders
that.
for you.
wouldn't you like to know? So, anyways, um,
Either
yeah,
way,
she's like, if you have somewhere else, she's like, if you have somewhere else to be, she's like, come find me before you leave town, and I can, she's like, and I'll let you, she's like, and I'll let you know what I need done on the
absolutely.
Sword Coast.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'll catch you later. And then I walk out those tavern doors. I turn around and I wink at her. Then I keep going.
All right, turn around and wink at her and keep going. She finishes her wine, gets up and leaves. And then you guys go meet back up to the Piter Bottom home. Everybody's at bottom of Piter Bottoms, all hanging out, sharing information, or not. You all walk into a room and cold stare at one another. It's a chill. It's
Well,
almost like winter has come into the living room of the Piter Bottom home, and no one speaks to one
I tell them about Gunjar and how he's been acting differently since we left. Um, I also tell them I don't give them the specifics, but I tell them I may have found an underground network we can use for information as well. Um, and that's what I found out. Also, we do
Did you
have.
get us a location?
I got us a location of Wave Echo Cave.
How far?
It's in the mountains, but it's pretty close to town. It's not as far as half of our trips have been. Um,
Well,
I
it's gonna take as long.
yeah. I also like we have work, like gainful work anytime we
Mm.
need it.
Is it above board?
That remains to be seen. And seriously, some of the shit we've done has been so far underwater. Are you serious?
Had to ask.
I mean, it really depends on whose side you're on, I guess.
We might eventually want to look into Thunder Tree
Thunder Bluff.
because we have to find we got to find that spell book. That might help us in the future. The quest was given to us by like the luck goddess, so you know, maybe we'll get lucky.
Oh, that Bo Gentle's spell book. That's what you're thinking of. Yeah, I mean, so if you guys just kind of think of like, I mean, suppose like what you had to do in the past versus what you have available that you know about happening now. I guess it's not drastically different. We're all over the place, really.
Well, and Thunder Tree is also where the we'll probably find that dragon cult and that necromancer there, so we can just wipe out a handful of things at the same time.
I mean, yeah. So Lord's Alliance knows about, but hasn't been given order to do anything about the dragon that's reported to be at Thunder Tree.
Oh, I'm not saying we go
Um,
after the dragon. I'm saying we go after the cult. If we see the dragon, we run our asses off.
The Harpers are interested in just getting information about what's happening up there. And they became aware of and began tracking the necromancer, and they've seen him in company with the cultists.
I want to kill him again. This time we'll take his head.
Something's weird with Gundren down at Wave Echo Cave. Something's weird with Gundren down at Wave Echo Cave.
We gotta do the side
So
quest
yeah,
before
it's
we
kinda
get to the story mission.
heard about that too. I mean, they're all story missions, right? It's your story. You guys make it. Where do you go?
I feel like we should probably check out what's up with Gundren before we go try to fight a fucking dragon.
Seconded.
Yeah, I
That's the
say
job
we
we
go
have.
do that because then after that we can head to Neverwinter. But again,
And if you learn enough stuff to get you a second date on the way, well, that's not my problem.
Well, before we head out, I do have to go make a trip and see if I can get us paid for this. Get us
Okay, yeah. So you guys come home. If you guys are all at the Piter Bottom home, Mama Piter Bottom has once again like cleared out her stores in order to make a large and extravagant meal to welcome her boys back home. She goes all out and puts her heart into it wholeheartedly. Heartily? Is it heartedly? Heartily.
Heartedly.
I think it's could be either. I'll look it
Oh,
up.
I'd say
Oh, I
hearted,
I
can't.
don't know.
kind-hearted.
I don't feel like yeah, but I don't huh. Anyways, um yeah, and but I mean everybody who was walked in the door to Mom and Pie Bottom's extreme joy, I believe you all have inspiration if you um refresh your sheets. And
Oh, nice.
I mean the effects of this hero's feast, this just extravagant home cooking, just feels like a meal from the gods. If you guys remember it from before, I think you'll get like It's something like 8 hours of like bonuses on your rolls or something. We did.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember where I put it, but I'll look it back up again. It might be maybe applicable, but for a
Oh,
couple hours when you wake up in the morning.
we got someone back.
Hey, that's cool.
You
Just in
must,
time for us to say goodnight because
you
it's
wanna,
like 10:50.
Yeah, it's almost 11.
Yeah.
I'm getting exhausted.
But we should at least catch him up if he's back in. Yeah, he's been out for a whole bunch of things.
someone want to invite him to the call real quick?
You should be able to just join.
Okay.
I thought so. Yeah. I mean, I usually can. How do you know he's back?
He showed back up in the game
Oh, in
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 roll
roll
20.
20.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because his like name's been in the call for a while.
Oh, I haven't seen his name in the call for a good minute.
Yeah, he's not in the call for me.
Me
Weird.
neither.
He is for me. I feel like I'm. Thanks, Tom. I feel like I think things are like lagging a little bit for me. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Alright.
It's like he's almost there. Well, so yeah, so you guys go through, you have a delicious meal. It's home cooked. It just feels like warmth and good feelings. You know, the glow comes over here and little smiley faces. Oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Yay!
All of the finest that she had available to her.
Nice.
Which, if Spider Bottom boys are worried about their mom, she just like splurge big time on feeding you. Adventurers, be good kids. Anyways, I was hoping he'd come in so we could at least like catch him up. Be nice. So you think he can see messages?
Well, we
I
can
mean, if he's actually there,
we
he
can
may-
we can catch him up. We don't have to do it on stream. So if everyone wants to
That's
go,
true.
I can stay on for a little bit and talk to him.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, and then you're all have the night out. I feel ashamed that he doesn't have the chance to run around too, but
Well, that's why I figured we could save the party for him to like hang out with his mom and give him a chance to argue that way.
In role play.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said role play that way.
Role play.
because imagination.
Elves.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to finish laundry and take a shower, so it was a fun time. Although I do want Mrs. Bottom to fashion me a cloak with my
Yep.
patch. So I guess I can write that down.
It's
Alright, I don't want to get off, so I can go to bed.
we'll look and figure out how long it'll take her to put together. Really, you know.
Um,
I mean, she's been cooking all day.
Yeah, it
right.
took her a couple days for
If
mine.
it's gonna, well, yeah, but she was making you like armor.
Yeah.
I'm asking
Sticking
her to
some
like
leather
take a
together.
piece of cloth and like sew it into like a hood. I mean, I could potentially do it. I have high enough survival, which I feel like is what would go towards. Because that's what I used
It
for.
would probably be more like a tool proficiency, like a
You think
thing
so?
that you would. Yeah, that would be like a tool proficiency in doing that thing, like.
I mean,
using
if I
flute-
just
like
keep it at.
using a flute, using musical instruments or knowing how to play a game.
Well, now that I think about it too, I've got that like owl bear head skull on my head, so I couldn't really wear a hood. So
It would be
I might just keep it as I
not
might just
simultaneously.
yeah, I might just keep it as a like a scarf shaw thing, and then like just have the insignia sewn onto it. But I kind of want to have it to where it's like hidden in the folds so that it's not like super obvious when I'm walking around.
So you like put in the center and then like fold it up to be a scarf.
Yeah, and I can like pull back like a fold if I need to show it or something.
Okay, so you can ask her to sew the patch on to a part of it. I'm sure she could manage that in the morning or something if you're
Yeah.
doing it. And I mean, are you gonna pay Mama Biter Bottom for her time, or are you gonna like? I don't know. If she would ask. She's probably so enthralled with her boys being back that she'd probably just be like, "Oh, I love to do anything as long as they stick around."
Yeah. I mean, I can, yeah. I would need to go sell some stuff.
There are places to sell things for sure.
Yeah, I'll do
Are we
that.
gonna do? Are we gonna say? Are we gonna do? Do we want to do this now, or do we want to?
No, I'll do it next time. I wrote down
Okay.
that I wanted to do this.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, then,
Yeah, 11's a good time to call it.
until next time,
Bye.
good night, Internet.
See ya.
Peace.